Parents of the Duke seniors who are jointly out to oversee the coin toss to start this football game. Great arch rivalry between Duke and North Carolina. NC State may have discovered a secret to beating Duke last week. That is getting vertical early.
Well, a couple of deep balls really turned the game around, helped the Wolfpack rally against Duke. I think NC wants to do what they did last week. The Heels got Mike Thomas to get the ball deep to Marcus Wall. Wall caught 3 touchdown balls last week. They need to do that again today, and as you said, particularly early. For Duke, their problem has been inside the 30. Last week, 8 times against the Wolfpack and just 1 touchdown. They have to be more efficient.
Well, the more efficient, the more effective they can be depends on how Robert Baldwin runs today. To take a look at that story, third member of our broadcast crew down on the sidelines, Brett McMillan.
Steve, a lot of folks are wondering what's happened to Robert Baldwin. He has not topped 100 yards in the last 3 weeks. But what's happened to him is you run into the 3 best defenses in the conference. Florida State, Virginia, and NC State are not only the best in the conference, all of them are among the top 18 nationally. But Robert Baldwin is not just a one-dimensional player. He is also a great receiver. He has 33 catches as well for the Duke Blue Devils this year, so North Carolina's going to have to keep a close eye on him. If he rushes for 81 yards today, Robert Baldwin will become the top rusher in Duke history in a single season. We'll be back for the kickoff next.
To discover the real difference between the world's 2 leading soft drinks, we're implementing an anthropological study. Chimp A will be allowed nothing but Coke. Chimp B, nothing but Pepsi. The results are astounding. The chimp that drank Coke showed improvement in motor skills. The chimp that drank Pepsi, however, disappeared.
Hello? It's him.
Here on the Outback, we play our own brand of football. Outback rules. No sidelines. No time limits. No telling which way the boomerang will bounce. Just the ultimate goal. Great steak. Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right.
The all-new Mazda Protege has a remarkably big interior. After all, it's bigger inside than a Honda Civic, bigger than a Nissan Altima, even bigger than a 5 Series BMW. In fact, the only thing that's small about the Protege is its introductory lease price. The all-new Mazda Protege. Lease a well-equipped Protege DX for just $179 a month or $1,000 down.
This is Red Dog beer. Red Dog. It's not ice brewed, fire brewed, dry brewed, or this or that. It's just genuinely good beer. Okay, there is one thing unusual about Red Dog. It's unusually easy to drink. Because it's bold yet smooth. Because it's made with the finest natural ingredients. Are you gonna like Red Dog? Yeah, we think so. But hey, it's your call.
Welcome back to Wallace Wade Stadium. There's not much to choose from record-wise between these two, and the first time, though, what is amazing, since 1888 that both teams are in contention for bowl games in the same year.
And how about add one more element, another sellout here at Wallace Wade Stadium. This is the 4th consecutive game in which Duke has played a sellout, 2 here at home, and then the game at NC State last week and at Florida State before that.
36,000 counting standing room here at Wallace Wade Stadium. There's Scott Caparelli, the junior out of Virginia Beach. He'll handle the kickoff duties. North Carolina won the coin toss, but they have deferred their option to the second half. So that means we'll see Duke's offense first of all. And back deep to receive, there's Adam Geis, a freshman out of Durham. And along with him will be T-John Redmond. A beautiful day weather-wise. There is a pretty good breeze out of the north as we look to the east and get ready for football here in Durham. Caparelli set to kick it away, and we will be underway. The Duke Blue Devils right now at 8-2, North Carolina at 7-3. Bowl implications, where they'll go, not if. And here's the kick. Geis 3 yards deep. Geis gets hit right at the 6-yard line. Actually out to the 13-yard line. And the tackle made on the play by Kay Mays, who's a backup inside linebacker. Here's Spence Fisher. In the middle of a pretty good season for Fisher. 59% of his passes complete. 4th all-time career passing leader in Duke history. How he begins this game, Jack, will be crucial to how Duke's offense will run. 1st and 10 on the Duke 14-yard line. Corey Thomas is split wide out. That's Lohman in motion. Fisher to the air on 1st down. It is complete to John Jensen. And Jensen is out over the 23-yard line. It's close to a 9-yard gain. Let's take a look at our Burger King starting lineups for the Duke offense.
Well, either Opalenik or David Lohman will be that A-back. Baldwin, John Jensen, a big game last week. And Farquhar and Kayat will see tight end duty. Corey Thomas, their best deep threat. An offensive line that has stayed healthy and been very productive all year. Sharon Egg has really come on at center, and a great season for Matt Williams, the right tackle.
2nd down and about a yard for Spence Fisher here.
The development of the Duke offense, when they started to take away the tight ends, Farquhar and Kayat, the wrinkle was to get the ball to John Jensen, who has tight end height and does a nice job of picking up positive yardage.
2nd down and 1. In motion, Opalenik. Opalenik, and here the pass complete to Robert Baldwin for the 1st down at the 31-yard line. So Duke moving the ball to its 2nd leading receiver as we take a look at the North Carolina defense.
Quick patterns so far to try and keep Marcus Jones and Oscar Sturgis, the defensive ends, off of Spence Fisher. Veteran linebacking core headed up by a healthy Mike Morton now in the middle. The secondary has been really banged up. Jimmy Hitchcock and Tim Smith are out. It'll be up to some youngsters around the veterans, Thomas and Boyd.
1st and 10 at the 31-yard line. Baldwin alone setback. Blitz is on for Carolina. Baldwin up through the middle, and he's hit. Nose hard there by Greg Black. Right at the 31-yard line, helping to finish him off is Eddie Mason.
Well, the down linemen for North Carolina defensively, I think, are the key to their defense. Sturgis, Parker, Greg Black, number 56, shedding the double-team block and stuffing Baldwin, along with Marcus Jones, who's having an All-American year at defensive end. They are the guys that are going to, 1, try and stop Robert Baldwin, and then 2, put the pressure on number 12, Spence Fisher.
2nd down and 9. Jensen and Thomas split wide out. DeOrio is there in motion as the drag back, and he gets the shovel pass. Not much yardage there. Riddick Parker is there to stop it at the 33-yard line. Also helping out Mike Morton.
Excuse me, Steve. I like the defensive execution from Carl Torbush's unit here. Watch as the line rotates, so does the defensive line. Look at number 97, Riddick Parker, stayed right with that play. He shadowed Spence Fisher, saw DeOrio there, and made it a short yardage play.
It's 3rd and 7. No score. First possession of the ball game for Duke out of the shotgun. It's Spence Fisher. 4-man rush. Pass over the middle is going to be incomplete for Robert Baldwin. Mike Morton there covering on the play with Kerry Mock, and the Duke offense is stopped.
The problem Duke has been having offensively, when they don't get 3, 4 or more yards on 1st down, they tend to have more difficulty, just because the offensive outlook, Steve, for much of the year has been the underneath package. They, I think, are going to have to throw the ball deep themselves to loosen up the front 7 of Carolina.
John Kruger, the sophomore from Hackensack, New Jersey, is there. Octavius Barnes is back deep. There's a flag on the play. Could be roughing as Barnes picks it up. And Barnes goes in reverse to the 28-yard line, but will go back to the line of scrimmage where Omar Brown may have run into John Kruger.
Running into the kicker.
It's only a 5-yard penalty.
So it changes 4th and 7 to 4th and 2.
Omar Brown, the guy coming through trying to block it. He tried to avoid it, but he was underneath John Kruger, and when Kruger came down, he caught Brown in the chest and went flying.
It looks like he caught a spike right to the chin strap.
That's right.
Oh, boy.
Now, Courtney Mosey signaled a 1st down, and it's not 1st down yardage. And that's what Mac Brown wants to know, and Courtney gesturing to Fred Gold. I'm sure Fred is saying, how could that be only a 5-yard mark-off and not the 15-yard roughing the kicker penalty?
So he'll come over and explain to Fred Goldsmith.
There is a running into the kicker penalty that is 5 yards and a roughing the kicker that's 15. Omar Brown coming in through the middle and made contact with the kicking leg of John Kruger. Those are times when you wish Courtney would turn his microphone on and let us hear the conversation with.
Well, I'm not so sure as if we might want to hear all the conversation with Fred at this time.
Running into the kicker, 5 yards on the defense. Still be a 4th down.
There you go. Well, we told you that a couple of minutes ago, but we just wanted to be sure. It's 4th and 2, and John Kruger will kick again.
Both coaching staffs, when we talked to them during the course of the week, really said these teams are so evenly matched that big mistakes are going to be the difference in a game.
Kicking game, and both teams like to convert turnovers, especially Duke, and especially early. Kruger getting set out of punt formation. Carolina setting up a return. Barnes is going to get away from it. And it'll roll dead inside the 20-yard line down to the 18s. So a profitable kick for John Kruger of 43 yards on the play. That pushes North Carolina back to their 18-yard line, where they'll start out 1st and 10. And Mike Thomas is the man who gets the call. Thomas will start. Jason Stanisiek made play. Stanisiek battling off the injuries. As you see Stanisiek on the sidelines, the senior, who's broken the total offensive record in North Carolina, but it is Mike Thomas who's got a strong arm in there to start. 1st and 10 at the 18-yard line. And off goes to Leon Johnson, and Johnson gets a big hole up over the middle, and he's up over the 25 to the 26-yard line. It's a gain of about 8. Let's take a look at the Tar Heel offense here.
Well, Curtis Johnson and William Henderson get the start, but I'm sure we'll see Leon Johnson as well. Marcus Wall and Octavius Barnes, the young wide receivers, have gotten better. Greg DeLong, maybe the best blocking tight end in the country. An offensive line hobbled with injuries. That's why the rushing numbers are down a little bit.
2nd down and about 2. Straight ahead, it's Johnson on the carry. Let's take a look at the Duke defense as they unpile.
I think one of the keys for the Duke defensive unit, Steve, as the year has gone on, is the guys up front, Stallmeyer, Holsey, Kirkland, and others have really improved. A great linebacking core. John Zwanich having an all-conference year. Likewise, the 2 safeties, Ray Farmer and Zaid Abdul-Alim, having great seasons for the Blue Devils.
No score on 3rd down and 1. Carolina's first time to the football. Here's Leon Johnson with a pitch, and he slips just shy of the 1st down. Let's see where they give him the spot as Zwanich makes sure he goes no further.
It's going to be close.
It'll be very close. He had a wide opening, Jack. Could have made it had he not lost his footing.
Well, Brandon Pollock did a good job of coming up and forcing him back inside, and Johnson didn't have the best footing as he tried to cut back. This Wallace Wade field has had its share of problems during the years. There's been talk of them redoing this field for the '95 campaign.
They've been rather lucky this year too, Jack, because they haven't had a lot of rain on game days. Of course, we had torrential rains prior to the Clemson game. There's the yardage. He didn't get it, and the punting unit is on.
Sometimes the best plays a player makes won't show up, at least in terms of official stats. Brandon Pollock just came up and forced the play back inside, and that ended up being enough to stop the 1st down.
So Mike Thomas stays on to punt, one of the leading punters in the conference, averaging a good 39.4 a belt. He's had 13 pinned inside the 20. Probably won't get this one in there, but he does have a wind at his back.
He might. I was just going to say, with that strong breeze, he could well get it inside the 20.
And it's just freshened a bit for Adam Geis, who's in punt return formation. He shows 10, but peels back in return. Geis cuts and hands off to Corey Thomas. The wall is formed. He's at the 35 and gets up to about the 47-yard line. Corey Thomas on the reverse. It's a 17-yard return off a 41-yard punt by Mike Thomas. Doug Leonard comes up to make the tackle. 11:03 left to go here in the first quarter of play. And it's Duke and Carolina all tied. We'll be back after this message from CarQuest Auto Parts.
My dad's a doctor, and you have to be real smart to be a doctor. Well, my dad fixes cars, and he's a lot smarter than your dad, because a doctor only has 2 models to fix, men and women, and they never change. My dad has to know how to fix hundreds of car models, and they change every year.
Well, my dad helps your dad keep your dad's car running right, and that's his store.
CarQuest, preferred by professional automotive technicians.
Trouble getting into your jeans? Try Relax Fit jeans from Lee.
People stopping by.
More and more people are stopping by for the reliable performance of Exxon 93 Supreme gasoline.
People stopping by.
They're stopping by for a gasoline that controls deposits on valves for a cleaner engine.
People stopping by to relax.
Rely on 93 Supreme for a cleaner engine which reduces emissions for cleaner air.
People stopping by to relax.
And don't forget, cash and credit prices are now the same.
I'm their father, big brother, sometimes even their teacher. At least on my pay, I only have to feed the ones I have at home.
A low price is no big thing if you don't get what you want. Now, the flame-broiled taste of the Whopper from Burger King is made just right for you. Like a Whopper with fries and a drink for just $2.99. The same great taste in a Whopper Junior meal is only $1.99.
Individual attention, that's the key.
Burger King, get your burger's worth.
Well, in a big ball game like this, you certainly want to have a little bit extra. Joe DeForest with the special teams has had a great season. They really had Carolina set up for this reverse. You see Corey Thomas peeled back. It ends up being a 17-yard return, Steve. It quite nearly went the distance. Good effort by the Carolina special teams to keep it to just 17 yards.
But just the same, Duke's got great field position at their own 48, 1st and 10. No score. Spence Fisher, first pass to Baldwin, starts this series out much like the last. Ultimately, Jack, Duke's success will hinge on what they're able to get out of Robert Baldwin on 1st down.
One of the things that we also want to watch here, no question, Baldwin is the focal point, catching and running out of the backfield. This is a very tall defensive line for North Carolina, and Spence Fisher has a habit of getting passes knocked down.
Shortest guy, 6'4", 6'6", 6'6", 6'5", 6'4" for North Carolina across that front. Blitz is on. He picks it up and goes to Jensen into North Carolina territory, where he's driven out of the 39-yard line by Omar Brown. It's a 13-yard gain.
Eddie Mason was blitzing on the play, and this is what Spence Fisher has really developed well at this season. Picking up the blitz. Credit Jerron Egg, number 70, as well, with catching a piece of Eddie Mason. That slowed the blitz up long enough for Fisher to spot Jensen and get the 1st down.
At the 38 of North Carolina, actually the 39, the handoff to Baldwin on 1st. Looked good going into the hole. Riddick Parker in on the tackle. Let's head to the sidelines and Brett McMillan.
Guys, as you saw in the reverse, Fred Goldsmith is not afraid to try something a little unusual. Things to keep in mind as this game goes along. John Jensen, the flanker, came here as a quarterback, and punter John Kruger, also a former quarterback, so we may see some more flea flickers before this day is over.
And, of course, Spence Fisher has had 3 quick kicks thus far for Duke, so on 3rd down, you're never safe. 2nd down right now, and about 8. For the Blue Devils at the 37-yard line of North Carolina. Fisher floods the pattern, has a man, and is Jensen again. Complete at the 23-yard line. Fuzzy Lee on the tackle. The 3rd catch by John Jensen.
They are without Jimmy Hitchcock, their outstanding cornerback. Tim Smith has been out all year. So they are not as strong at cornerback, and when that offensive line gives Fisher the time that he had right there, Spence can deliver to Jensen. 3 balls already for John Jensen.
That one for 19 yards. Here's Robert Baldwin on first down, and he stretches it out close to the 20-yard line. In on the tackle, Mike Morton. Also in on the tackle, Rick Terry, the sophomore from Lexington, North Carolina.
Here's the big time now for Duke. They are inside the Carolina 30. They were inside the NC State 40 9 times last week, 8 times inside the 30, but just 1 offensive touchdown. Fred Goldsmith is greatly concerned about that. We may see some gadget play here to try and get over that obstacle.
Second down, about 6. Fisher over the middle. Jensen, 4th catch. Pursued and tackled by Eric Thomas inside the 10 and the 8-yard line. A 15-yard gain for Duke on the play sets him up 1st and goal.
Jensen caught 8 balls last week, 4 here in the first quarter already. He went one way and then broke back against the grain. You see Farquhar, number 82, drove the linebacker up the field when Jensen cut underneath. It's just a lot of space that the cornerbacks have to cover before the safeties. In that case, Eric Thomas can step up to make the tackle.
1st and goal at the 8-yard line. Baldwin alone setback. That's Opalenik in motion. 3 wide receivers, wide side of the field, but it's Baldwin on the call, and he's hit by Terry Mock as he gets to the 5-yard line. So Baldwin picks up close to 3. It'll be 2nd down.
It appears that Mike Heimerdinger, the offensive coordinator for the Duke Blue Devils, has reversed his role. I mean, they were using Baldwin and that offensive line on the ground very effectively to set up their passing game. Now they're going the opposite way. They feel that Carolina is more vulnerable to the pass. They've been emphasizing that, and to great success so far.
2nd down and goal from the 5. Spence Fisher 6 for 8 at about 58 yards. Throwing again. Has a man in, almost intercepted by Sean Boyd. He was going for Corey Thomas, and Boyd, the junior from Gastonia, North Carolina, nearly had himself an interception.
Marcus Jones, the All-American candidate at defensive end, matched up with Matt Williams there. Couldn't get to him quickly enough. Corey Thomas, when you run a slant pattern inside the 10-yard line, you've got to make sure you're in front of at least one of those guys. He not only was behind Boyd, he was also behind the cornerback.
9th play of the drive, 3rd and goal, no score. Duke threatening. Carolina on a blitz. Fisher gets rid of it. Jensen, touchdown, Duke.
Same play again. 5 catches in the first half. 3 of the 5 have been moved one way and then dragged back underneath. And Jensen runs a great route. He is 6'4", 210 pounds. That's what I was saying, Steve. A tight end body.
Hesitation on the hold, but the kick is good by Tom Cochran. And the Duke Blue Devils take a 7-0 lead on John Jensen's 2nd touchdown reception of the year. With 7:51 left to go on the first, we'll return after these messages from your local ACC station.
There's something new lurking in the night. Something wild. Something that can't be tamed. And now he wants you to come out and play. Red Wolf is here. Follow your instincts.
Now, places you have longed to visit, places you have only dreamed about, are closer than ever. Because of our alliance with British Airways, the U.S. Air Frequent Traveler program lets you earn free trips to over 300 cities in over 70 countries. Who said dreams can't come true?
We've been around for 80 years since America learned to drive. We got more Chevys on the road than any other line. Chevy's got it all.
Like the 95 Chevy S-Series pickup, now with driver's side airbag, anti-lock brakes, AM/FM stereo, and more, all standard. And the price? Well, the 95 S-Series starts at $10,075. Drive one today at your Carolina Chevy Geo dealer.
That's the Chevy way. Chevy's got it on.
Johnny Bench for S&K.
Why should you make S&K your home for holiday shopping? Pure wool values. Like these fine quality 100% wool suits, 2 for $299. That's right, 2 pure wool suits for under $300. And just $99.97 gets you this pure wool sport coat. So come to S&K and you'll look great at the office, at holiday parties, and right around home.
7 area locations in Raleigh, Durham, Morrisville, Fayetteville, Cary, and Smithfield.
To those who think a full-bodied beer can't be real red, yet real smooth, we say, where you been living? In a cave? Red Wolf is here. Follow your instincts.
Duke drives down the field for the first score. North Carolina deciding to blitz. Watch number 57, Kerry Mock, and number 58, Mike Morton, trying to come on. They don't get to Fisher quickly enough. Now watch from the end zone angle. There goes Mock and Morton, so there's no underneath help. And when Farquhar pins the safety, Eric Thomas, Jensen's wide open on the slant underneath. His 5th pass, 4 of them in that series, 3 of them for touchdown or first down. The ball is caught out of bounds by Watson. We have a flag down. He may have had a foot planted out of bounds. At the 28-yard line.
Procedure on the kicking team, kick out of bounds. We'll put it in play on the 35-yard line.
So North Carolina will get it at the 35-yard line as we look at a long march by the Duke Blue Devils. 9 plays, 52 yards. Jensen, 5-yard touchdown reception, his 2nd of the year, and the 13th touchdown pass for Spence Fisher.
They had great field position to start most of their drives last week against NC State. The Blue Devils have to be heartened that they turned it into a touchdown on their 2nd possession of the game.
Started that drive at the 47-yard line of their own. This is North Carolina of their own. 35. Thomas running the option, and David Hawkins said, Carlos Bagley to help. And it's a loss on the play.
Also give a lot of credit to number 94, James Kirkland, the defensive end. What a great upfield move by Kirkland, the junior out of Atlanta, Georgia. It really backs Thomas up. Watch the left side of your screen. Kirkland is, well, I take it back. It wasn't Kirkland. It was David Hawkins who got so far up the field that really changed the play.
2nd down and about 16. Back to throw, Thomas into the sun. Floats one out there intended for Octavius Barnes. Brandon Pollock on the coverage.
I said at the outset, I think the Duke defensive line has really made great progress as the year comes on. Look at the pressure. Number 98, Mike Stallmeyer coming on, and number 90, Bernard Holsey, putting the hit on Mike Thomas. He couldn't follow through on that ball, and it sailed out of bounds.
Holsey, a junior out of Rome, Georgia. 3rd down and 16. Carolina trailing Duke 7-0. Thomas throws over the middle, complete to Barnes. And the freshman gets into Duke territory at the 48-yard line. John Swanich on the tackle. 23-yard gain.
Octavius Barnes runs a good crossing route. You got to be willing to run this route against Duke if you're going to be successful. Underneath Farmer and Abdul Aleem and beyond the linebackers. Good job by Mike Thomas to hang in there against pretty good pressure.
His 3rd down conversion. Here comes Barnes on the pass. The flanker pass is complete to Marcus Wall. Touchdown, North Carolina.
Octavius Barnes, in his redshirt year last year for Carolina, was the scout team quarterback. He can throw the football as he guaranteed it right there. Great call by Daryl Moody. Great play fake by Thomas and Johnson. Marcus Wall wide open. Octavius Barnes, the biggest ball he ever has thrown in a Carolina uniform, because this time it mattered.
4 touchdowns in 2 weeks for Marcus Wall. Trip Pignetti out of Charlotte, North Carolina, in for the kick out of the hold of Jay Boaz to tie this one up. There's a flag on the play. The kick is good. A flag thrown into the middle of the line. So we'll hold it here to see what the determination is.
A personal foul on the blue team, sparing the center.
Wow, that's a 15-yard walk-off. Carolina will kick off from the 45. They may try some gadget play on the kickoff.
They'll have some yardage down deep. Let's take a look at the touchdown play again.
Watch the play fake here by Curtis Johnson and Mike Thomas. It really fooled the Duke defense. Barnes could have set his feet. He had that much time, but he was concerned about getting rid of the ball. Kind of threw it on the run. Marcus Wall had gotten behind Brandon Pollock, and what a big play. Talked about him going deep and running gadgets, and we have seen it from both sides already.
First Union presents Around the ACC, a big Saturday of traditional rivalries. Virginia at Virginia Tech. Hokies lead that in-state rivalry, and both teams are ranked. Wake Forest at Georgia Tech. Of course, both teams looking for their first conference win. Maryland out of conference at Syracuse. And tonight, a big game. NC State with the last crack at Florida State. Otherwise, they're victim 24. And Terry Harvey, last 2 weeks, he'll probably be out, though, with a shoulder separation. The key question, will he play? Likely it'll be Jeff Bender tonight when the two teams kick off at Carter Finley and Raleigh. The scoring drive, well, just 4 plays, but 2 big ones. Of course, the big play on 3rd down to Octavius Barnes, and then Barnes' touchdown strike of 48 yards to Marcus Wall. And it didn't take him long to tie it up.
Reason why I want to really credit Daryl Moody on the play call, Steve, not only that you run a gadget play like that, but he sensed that Duke would be down a little bit defensively. On a 3rd and long, they give up a first down play. The last guy they would expect to throw an option pass would be the receiver who caught the previous play for the first down. That's why it was a great sequence of calls by Daryl Moody and the offensive staff of Carolina.
And they have excellent field position kicking from the 50 after the 15-yard penalty. Jack cautions you for the possibility of something less than conventional here. The ball is set up in squib kick fashion.
Well, he can give one of those pooch kicks and maybe have a guy run down underneath it. Duke may be forced a fair catch.
Scott Caparelli getting set to do the honors. And he just has at it. So forget all of the above, and Geis downs it 10 yards deep, and the Duke Blue Devils will come out at their own 20-yard line.
Now, we have seen our share of late of offenses going back and forth, and not to take anything away from good defenses, but Duke moved smartly down the field, and Carolina answered by coming right back the other way, 65 yards. Let's see what Spence Fisher does, and let's see what the Carolina defensive coaches will try and do to cut down John Jensen, who's already caught 5 balls out of the flanker spot.
Both teams are appealing to what they feel are the other team's weaknesses here early, not probing at all. Going right for them. The pass to the tight end this time on a drag is knocked away by Mike Morton, senior out of Kannapolis, North Carolina.
In their victory against Clemson, Duke ran this little curl route to the tight end all afternoon with Farquhar and Bill Kayat. Good recognition by Mike Morton, and after he did it, he said, why didn't I try and catch that instead of just knocking it down?
And then run into the end zone. 2nd and 10 from the 20. Jensen in motion. Fisher looking, wants Baldwin thrown on his shoulder, and it allowed Kerry Mock to get into it. Another pass broken up by the Carolina secondary.
They ran John Jensen straight up the sideline that time, clearing the zone. I think they have to think about finding Jensen or Corey Thomas up that sideline. They flooded underneath, and Kerry Mock broke nicely on the ball to break it up. They had Farquhar and Baldwin in the flat and Jensen deep. Now they've got Thomas on this side, matched up with Fuzzy Lee.
Here's a key stat. Carolina would like to shut Duke to 3 and out here. Fisher in the grass, throws it away to Baldwin. But heavy pressure coming that time from Rick Terry and Greg Ellis and Riddick Parker.
Spence Fisher at 225 pounds was able to hang in there well enough to get rid of the football. Some of the Carolina followers wanted a grounding call, but it definitely was in the neighborhood of Robert Baldwin.
So John Kruger is on for his second attempt of the day. 43 yards his first kick. Averages about 41 on the season. And his longest kick on the year has been 60 yards. And he kicks it into the wing. Barnes having trouble handling it, and Duke has picked it up. Duke has picked it up, and picking up the loose ball is Lamar Marshall. He's the designated hitman on the special forces for Duke. The Blue Devils wanted a defensive turnover. They thrive on them. They have one.
They are second in the country in turnover margin. Octavius Barnes looking into the sun, fighting the sun, made the fatal mistake here of trying to pick the ball up instead of just falling on it. Lamar Marshall comes away with the ball, and in a sequence of 2 plays, Octavius Barnes goes from hero to villain. Look at that turnover margin, plus 18. It has been crucial to the Duke success.
It's a 53-yard punt by Kruger. That turnover margin is second best in the country to Clemson. Opelenik, 1st and 10. He's in motion. This is Baldwin. Baldwin jumps into a hole and then jumps into a tackle. Tackle made by Mike Morton, who really wrapped up Baldwin hard.
They have really shut down Rob Baldwin in that regard. I want to show you one more look at the punt and the problem for Octavius Barnes. All right, he misses it. Now watch him look up to see where the coverage is before he had secured the ball. Right, that little peek is what cost him. Once you make that first muff, forget about doing anything. Get the football.
2nd down and 7. Spence Fisher at the 26 of North Carolina, going down the middle for Kyle. Yes, touchdown! What a catch!
Bill Kayat with a fabulous catch in the end zone. Mike Heimerdinger said, all right, you're taking it away short on me. Let's see what you do deep. Run the tight end down the middle of the field against the 2-deep zone. The mismatch with Mike Morton, the linebacker. And the fully extended grab to put Duke back on top.
Bill Kayat with his 2nd touchdown catch of the season. Cochran gets the point after, and Duke, thanks to the turnover, taking the lead on 2 plays after. Spence Fisher's 2nd touchdown pass of the day. It's Duke 14, North Carolina 7.
First quarter, and it's been a great game already.
Seen a halfback pass, or a flanker pass, if you will. We've seen a fumble on a punt into a tough sun. What do we see next? Here's Marcus Wall at the 15. Wall turns on the Jets. Wall is not going to be touched. No flags on the play. Touchdown, North Carolina. 87 yards for Marcus Wall.
I was waiting for you to say we need a kickoff return.
It was in my mind.
Well, they tried to pooch the ball again to take away Marcus Wall, who was one of the great kick returners in Carolina and ACC history. But once he cleared that initial charge, Mack Brown knew that his junior out of Fayetteville could go the distance. And Marcus Wall scores his 2nd touchdown of the game. 11 seconds elapse, and we got a tie ball game again if Pignetti makes the extra point.
He's on. Jay Boaz to hold. Well, it's Carolina Duke. What more do you want? There's the kick. It is good. We are tied. 5:18 left to go here in the first quarter of play. An electrifying 87-yard return by Marcus Wall, who is really impressing the North Carolina coaches with the way that he has dramatically improved this year.
Well, for Marcus, that was his 10th touchdown of the season. Watch him clear the first wall right here with a little hop, skip, And then off to the races. Nobody was going to catch him. Wall with his 5th touchdown in the last 5 quarters. Had 3 touchdowns last week against Wake Forest. Right here, found the seam. Now watch the little skip to the outside right here. T. John Redmond, who might have had the speed to catch him, tripped and fell, and then that was going to be it because there was no way that Cochran was going to catch Marcus Wall.
This has been a series of superlatives as you see the victory bell there. Back in 1989, the last time that Duke won, well, there were some great things that happened. Dave Brown, of course, came up with a great game the last time that Duke won in this series. He would throw for 470 yards. He hits there to Clarkston Hines. It's the most ever against North Carolina, and Duke went on to the widest winning margin that they'd ever enjoyed against the Tar Heels, 41-0. That's the last time the victory bell has resided here in Durham, and the issue is still pretty much in doubt from the start we've received this afternoon.
Well, about the only thing this game lacks right now is the manhole cover and the street light that you run your pass patterns off of. You know, go to the manhole cover and hook or do a post pattern off of the street light, because we've had everything else and we still have most of this game yet to be played.
Well, it's good to see both coaches have gone through most of the playbook now, and we can get back to conventional football. Scott Caporelli getting set to kick it away. Here comes Redmond at the 4. Redmond almost spun away twice. John Bradley leads the charge against him. Let's go to the sidelines and see what Brett McMillan can dig up.
Well, guys, as you talked about the great streak that Marcus Wall is on now, 5 touchdowns in the last 5 quarters. With that kickoff return, he also moves up to 7th on the all 8-time ACC kickoff return yardage list.
Marcus Wall having himself a year and an afternoon so far. A touchdown catch and then a return of a kickoff, 87 yards for a score.
Our stat man deluxe John Madry tells us that kickoff return for Carolina against Duke, the first one for a score in 35 years.
Wow. But, of course, with both teams going for bowl bids this year, anything can happen. Here's the pass complete to the tight end, John Farquhar, out over the 30-yard line to the 31. It is a gain of about 8 yards on the play. On the tackle, Mike Martin.
Excuse me, Steve. Carl Torbush really has a dilemma right here, trying to decide, do I try and blitz him, or do I just lay back and stay in coverage? Spence Fisher right now is just dissecting the underneath coverage of the North Carolina Tar Heels.
He has 3 wide receivers to the short side of the field. That's a busted play for Spence Fisher. He's out there alone with Marcus Jones. And coming over to make sure he stays down is Mike Morton.
Spence was real smart taking the elevator to the basement as Mike Morton came up towards him. He was able to step around Marcus Jones, but Mike Morton was coming at him head high, and Spence said, let's see what's on sale in the basement.
Yeah, household goods, hardware,
self-preservation,
all of the above. Third down, however, gain 2, 3rd and 1. Duke and Carolina tied at 14. Fisher trying to carry it over. He may not have gotten it. Fisher is hit after by Sean Boyd. A flag is thrown in. Sean trying to appeal his case to the officials as Fisher tried to stretch the ball out, but the play was blown dead at that time.
The problem for Sean Boyd, he saw Fisher sticking the ball out. Watch the effort by Fisher. He's stopped here. He's not going to get the first down. Put it back out there. And Sean Boyd comes up and spears the quarterback. And it turns into a first down for Duke. A costly mistake.
Boy, Mack Brown is hot, and probably with good reason. He felt that the play hadn't been blown dead, and Sean Boyd was just reacting by instinct. He saw Spence Fisher put the ball out, try to get the first down yardage, and he reacted. And you saw the reaction of Mack Brown to the play. 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. Costly penalty for North Carolina as it keeps Duke in business. Opalenik in motion. Fisher to throw. Complete to Jensen, his 6th catch of the day. Eric Thomas brings him down.
The dilemma for North Carolina. The injuries in the secondary forced them to be much more basic. You see, they were in straight zone coverage there. They're almost going to have to take somebody and walk him out on the slot receiver in man coverage and take that away. If they can't do that, Duke will keep going that area all afternoon.
18 on that play. 1st and 10 at the North Carolina 34. Baldwin gets about 4 and gets up over the 30-yard line. That's what Duke wants to do. Mike Morton in on a tackle. Good blocking by the tackles, John Merrill and Matt Williams.
A couple of weeks ago, before the Duke-Florida State game, the Florida State coaches talked about the difference in this Duke team. They said they have an attitude now. They're a tougher bunch of people than they were before. Talked to the players yesterday. They said they had a great week of practice. They're ornery today.
2nd and 6 after the 4-yard gain. Play action for Fisher. Pass complete to Kayak. It's at the 23-yard line. It's a gain of 6. It's going to be close to the first down. I think he's got it.
Spence Fisher with good protection from that veteran offensive line. He's taken some licks after he's gotten rid of the ball, but they've given him most of the time plenty of opportunity to wait for somebody to break open.
Fred Goldsmith, one of the many candidates, or the few candidates really, for Coach of the Year, a select group along with Terry Bowden of Auburn.
And Fred Goldsmith, they should inscribe his name on the trophy right now. I don't think there's any question.
We have a timeout called by Duke with 2:29 left in the quarter. There's Fred Goldsmith's record.
The best thing I like about that, Coach K down at the bottom. He started 4-3 in the basketball program here at Duke, but Fred with a wonderful year, and he's quick to praise the people who were here before. This team just needed an opportunity to get it going again. They've been blessed with good health all year. They've had very few injuries. They have made the most of their opportunities. And maybe the best thing that Fred Goldsmith has done, he has reawakened the confidence in the Duke football program. They go out there now not expecting to compete, but expecting to win.
Take a look at some scores from around the country on this arch rivalry Saturday, if it were. On the Jefferson Pilot scoreline in the first quarter down at Death Valley. There'll be some blood let down there. Clemson and South Carolina going at it today. Virginia taking the lead on Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech spoiled their finale last year. Of course, for the latest scores of just the games you want, call the Jefferson Pilot scoreline. You see the number on your screen. Calls are $1 a minute. And kids, get your parents' permission.
Well, the timeout used here because they were a little slow getting out of the huddle and didn't want to have any mistakes to lose the field position. Let's see what Brett's got down on the sidelines.
Well, to follow up on what you were saying, Jack, about how healthy Duke has stayed this year, the regulars on defense have not lost a single game to injury this year. And on offense, only tight end John Farquhar has missed one game. One game among all your regulars. That's amazing.
1st and 10. Spence Fisher was 11 for 17 and 2 touchdowns in the shot clock. Pass is complete to Farquhar at the 10. And Farquhar is knocked down by Fuzzy Lee at the 4-yard line. It's a gain of 19.
The tight end delay. What a great play this is. You send everybody deep to clear all the coverage. Farquhar holds, now slips out. And there is nobody near him. The linebackers have dropped into coverage, trying to help out underneath. And there is just wide open spaces for the senior tight end out of Stanford, California.
1st and goal from the 4. Baldwin with the mail, and he is nailed by Mike Morton at about the 3-yard line. Morton's been in on a bevy of tackles. Baldwin, of course, from DeLand, Florida.
So many people think of the one-back offense as just a passing attack. Duke, with the success they've had running the football with Rob Baldwin, have enabled them to use every facet of that one-back offense to success this year.
2nd and goal. Play action for Fisher. Has time and throws it away. Jensen was close by with Terry Billups in coverage. Brings up third down.
He was looking for Corey Thomas to his left, and he was well covered. Greg Black eventually puts the pressure on, but again, Marcus Jones being handled, maybe Carolina people would say literally, by John Farquhar. They kept the tight end in to double team Jones. Greg Black eventually pushed through and forced Fisher to get rid of the football. Now on the last third down from this spot, they ran Jensen on the slant route. He will be to the left of Fisher as they unfold this play.
Thomas to the right on 3rd and goal. Score tied at 14. Fisher looking to Thomas. Overthrew it. Ball sailed. Might have been tipped too.
He had both Thomas and Jensen running slant routes. Here's Jensen. Put a good move on. He's open. Corey Thomas was doing the same on the top part of the screen, and Spence Fisher couldn't deliver it.
So it's Tom Cochran on for the field goal. Cochran missed 4 last week, but none shorter than 40 yards. A heartbreaker from 51 that could have cleared the hurdle of NC State. This time, he nails it from 22. And the Blue Devils take the lead. 31 points in the first quarter, and we still have 96 seconds left to play. But Duke leading it here 17-14 on Tom Cochran's 13th field goal of the season.
We've taken almost an hour to play this first quarter with all that has happened.
And we've had a fumble on a kickoff or on a punt. We've had a touchdown on a flanker reverse. We've had a reverse on a return that did not go for a score, but did set up a drive that wound up in a score.
Well, both coaching staffs talked about mistakes being big keys, if not the biggest key to the game. And in this ball game right now, North Carolina's made 2 big mistakes. They fumbled a punt. Duke got a touchdown out of it. They had an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty that got them the field goal that kept the Duke drive alive. And with Jason Stanisiak not playing in the ball game yet, Carolina finds itself trailing by 3. And really, they've only had 2 offensive series because of the touchdown on the kickoff return by Marcus Walls. They've not really gotten into the rhythm of their offense like Duke has. John Madry pointing out there was just 2 first downs in the ball game for Carolina, although they do have the 14 points.
That's right. One of them on the 87-yard kickoff return by Marcus Wall, who has 2 touchdowns today. And we're just about set for the kickoff. Cochran lets it fly. It's a short kick. Fielded by Marcus Wall. Wall flattened by Ford at the 32-yard line and a shoestring tackle. And it's a 14-yard return, and so North Carolina will bring their offense back out on the field. Actually, Jack, they've only had 2 series.
Right, 2 first downs, 2 series. They've only had 7 plays on offense. Syracuse jumping out to a 2-touchdown lead in the second quarter at the Carrier Dome.
Here's Mike Thomas. There's an opening. And Thomas knocked out of bounds at the 43-yard line. It's a gain of 11. Marshall with the block to lead him.
Last time on first down, they ran the option to their left and didn't have much success. They ended up losing 6 yards on the play. This time, David Hawkins doesn't get the penetration. Malcolm Marshall with the good block, and Mike Thomas turns the corner and gets good yardage.
Curtis Johnson is the tailback. Marshall the fullback on 1st and 10, and this is Malcolm Marshall. And Marshall gets his way toward the 47-yard line. David Hawkins in on the tackle. Marshall, the 5th-year senior from Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Daryl Mooney and Mac Brown said they didn't know how much they could pound away at that Duke defense this afternoon. They really want to do it a little bit here, if for no other reason than to give their defense a breather. They were on the field for most of the first quarter.
2nd down and 6. Ball at the 48. Handoff goes to Curtis Johnson. First carry play of the day, and Johnson is in Duke territory for the first down at the 45-yard line. A gain of 7. John Zwanich on the tackle.
Curtis Johnson will cross the 2,000-yard plateau in his career with better than 60 yards this afternoon. The junior out of Greensboro.
First and 10, North Carolina to Duke 45. We're in the closing seconds of this first quarter. 30 seconds left to play. North Carolina checking up. Thomas complete to Octavius Barnes for a first down at the Duke 30. Gain of 15 on the play. On the tackle, Brandon Pollock.
Oscar Sturgis, defensive end for North Carolina, with some injury difficulties right now. We'll see if Brett McMillan can find out more about it.
All right, now on offense, North Carolina moving with 16 seconds left in the first quarter. First and 10 at the Duke 30, and this is William Henderson. And Henderson, the fifth-year senior out of Chester, Virginia, is flattened by Carlos Bagley. And Bagley makes the tackle after a 2-yard gain. That's the end of an exciting first quarter. Tom Cochran's field goal is the difference as Duke leads Carolina by 3.
Trouble getting into your jeans? Try Lee, the brand that fits.
1879, Siemens invents the first electric locomotive, top speed 10 miles an hour. That was then. This is now. Today, Siemens technology can connect cities at over 200 miles an hour and carries millions of commuters with more comfort and convenience all across America. Transportation is just one of Siemens' vast array of technologies that help keep America on the move. Siemens, precision thinking.
He knows the streets. Steve Martin along with Jack Corrigan and Brett McMillan on our sideline as the Duke Blue Devils lead the North Carolina Tar Heels 17-14. Both teams are bowl bound. The question is where, and today's outcome may go a long way toward determining. Second down and 8. North Carolina now at the Duke 27. Here's Thomas going out, and now they're going to mark him down as he went down on one knee, trying to pull away from center as we start the second quarter. Let's go to the sidelines and Brett McMillan.
Steve, Oscar Sturgis has a sprained foot. They have re-wrapped the foot. They're now icing it down, as after they wrapped it, he still had some trouble putting some good weight on it. He does plan to return today, though.
Good news for the North Carolina defense.
As we take a look at the Lee first quarter stats, a wrinkle for Duke defensively. They brought LaVance McQueen, the freshman linebacker, with great quickness onto the outside at the top of the screen, number 1. 3rd and 12. Carolina trailing by 3. Pass complete to Octavius Barnes for the first down. And more down to the 8-yard line. It's a gain of 23 on the play. Good job by the Carolina offensive line to give Mike Thomas protection, and Octavius Barnes on the crossing pattern underneath Brandon Pollock. DeLong cleared the coverage away. They had the blitz package on, and North Carolina answered it.
Drive down at 7th play. 1st and goal inside the 10. They're at the 8-yard line. Barnes split wide to the short side, Wall to the wide side. Hand off to the fullback, that's Henderson, and he wriggles his way down to the 6-yard line.
Well, it looked like the right guard, redshirt freshman Mike Hopgood, might have rolled into that start a little bit without any call, trying to get a little extra help to provide a pathway to get Carolina back into the lead.
And this is a rebuilt offensive line. You're talking about guys who are 3rd and 4th on the depth chart when the season began because of the injuries. 2nd and goal, North Carolina. On the option, Thomas. Thomas almost gets there. Puts the ball on the ground. It's going to be Duke ball.
Now he fumbled it. The ground caused the fumble. The ground caused the fumble, and the official
And he points to it. You're right. He's going to signal it down to the 1.
Well, he was hit in the backfield. Mike Thomas is 235 pounds. David Hawkins thought he had him in the backfield. Watch him go right through that tackle try. Now watch this. There's the hit. The ball comes down after the contact with the ground. This angle will show it to us a little better. He's hit. Well, actually, the ball did pop free, but I don't think the officials saw it. He just saw it pop free after the ground contact. And Carolina catches a break there. 9th play of the drive coming, and a timeout called by North Carolina to get themselves organized. It's 3rd and goal from the 1-yard line. With 13-17 left to go in the first half, North Carolina's knocking on the door.
Environment of high-performance racing demands reliability. That's why the International Motorsports Association asked Exxon to formulate their official racing fuel. They knew that Exxon would create a high-performance fuel that exceeds the demands of grueling race conditions. And that same reliable performance can be found every time you fill up with Exxon 93 Supreme. Exxon, rely on the Tiger.
Every day in 32 countries and over 300 cities, Delta Airlines takes off to the world of facts and figures, budgets, and bottom lines. And when the job is done, we bring you back to the world of mommies and daddies, boyfriends, girlfriends, and best friends. Delta Airlines.
If you're the victim of poor produce, there's good news from America's supermarket. Winn-Dixie's.
We're back here in Durham. Duke 17, North Carolina 14. Double tight end set, extra back. Anybody who can carry a refrigerator in here right now for North Carolina. 3rd and goal at the 1.5. That's Chris Watson in motion. Thomas, play fake pass, incomplete intended for Greg DeLong. He was covered up by Ray Farmer. Great coverage by Ray Farmer. Didn't bite on the play fake. That's what they were hoping. Mike Thomas had to put it in a spot where nobody else could get to it. See, number 22 started to step up and then reacted to it. Great reaction by Ray Farmer. Good picture by our end zone camera to show you. Farmer stepped up, but recovered in time to get not only back towards DeLong, Steve, but also to change the vision angle of Mike Thomas. This will be an 18-yard chip shot for Trip Pignetti, but it's at a difficult angle into the wind. Low snap, kick good, score tie at 17 all. So North Carolina drives 10 plays. They'd hoped to punch it in from the 1 to take the lead. They had to settle for a Trip Pignetti field goal, his 11th of the season, and they tie it up at 17 apiece. Let's go to the sidelines in Breck McMillan.
A couple of things, Steve. Mike Thomas very upset when he came off the field. He felt like there had been interference in the end zone that was not called on that one. And in the meantime, almost the entire time the offense had the ball, which was a pretty good length of time, the defensive linebackers and defensive backs for North Carolina met, used the diagram board, drawing out plans of attack because Duke's been using them pretty good so far.
Duke has done, I think, a masterful job of creating the misdirection, getting North Carolina to react initially to the flood of receivers to one side, and then, as Jack has pointed out, they've either dragged the tight end or maybe a slot receiver back in the opposite direction. North Carolina in 1994 has dominated this period. They're up 3-0 here. They're hoping to slow this Duke attack, which really has not been stopped very much this afternoon. Their first possession, they were stopped, but since then, Spence Fisher has been
very good. 12 of 20, a couple of touchdown passes. They've been able to do it without much of a ground game because the personal foul penalty and the fumbled punt gave them the good field position. Their ability to capitalize on their opponent's mistakes, that's been their MO all year.
And of course, the success that Spence Fisher has tasted, however, may make things a little bit easier for Robert Baldwin whenever Duke takes the lead.
Craig,
if they ever do. Scott Caparella getting set to kick it away. He kicks it very short. This is London with it at the 25-yard line, and he's driven out of bounds at the 28. A tackle made by Omar Brown, the defensive back. And Duke will come out 1st and 10 at the 28-yard line. Spence Fisher, very efficient today. 2 touchdown passes. One to John Jensen, the other to Bill Kayak. And he's looking at 1st and 10. And both receivers are in the ballgame.
And so is Oscar Sturgis. No, he's not there yet.
Here comes Spence Fisher out of the pocket, and he is tackled by Marcus Jones as we got out to about the 30-yard line. Gain of about 2 on the scramble play. Jones, 6'6", out of Jacksonville, Florida. There you see what he's done so far this season. He has also 13 tackles for loss, 17 for loss.
Now, he has been the guy to create pressure on the quarterback, really pushing him for All-American honors, and I would have to say deserves a lot of consideration. Greg Ellis is the guy in right now for Sturgis at the other defensive end spot.
2nd down. And a long 8. Wait a second. Delay of game, apparently. Play clock got down to the 0 mark, and Duke didn't get the snap off in time.
Dead ball. Delay of the game. Offense. 5 yards. Still 2nd down.
That's something Duke cannot have happen, as you see an upset Fred Goldsmith, because they were in 2nd and long to begin with, 2nd and about 9. Now it's 2nd and 14. They just aren't as productive when they are in those. Well, most offenses aren't, but this is a team that in particular has to be efficient on 1st down to be successful offensively.
It's a ball control offense, to be sure. Success on 1st down is key. Here's Lohman in motion. 2nd and 14. Spence Fisher, incomplete, intended for Corey Thomas. At the 41, Marcus Jones puts the heat on Fisher. Brings up 3rd down.
Yeah, Marcus was right in the face of Spence Fisher. He had Corey Thomas open, but Fisher just couldn't follow through on the ball and couldn't get enough on it and short hopped it to his wide receiver. That's what they've done so far on 3rd down. This is easily their longest yardage situation on 3rd down. Let's see if Carolina goes vanilla or if they really try and put a lot of pressure on.
Well, they're showing 7 men on the line of scrimmage. Score tied at 17. They back out of the blitz and go for a twist instead. Here comes Fisher. Pass complete to Kayak. And Kayak is in North Carolina territory at the 47-yard line. It's a 29-yard gain for Bill Kayak.
I think if Carl Torbush had this to do over again, he would have come with the blitz. When you give Fisher time, he is usually going to deliver. I think Carolina will have to go with the philosophy of constant pressure and hope they don't get burned deep.
Kayak with 3 catches and a score. 1st and 10. Shovel pass, or it's the lateral actually, to Robert Baldwin. And Baldwin is pulled down. Mike Morton there, along with Brian Simmons and Terry Billups.
Now they're trying to do anything to get some space for Rob Baldwin. This time the little quick toss out of the 1-back set, but Carolina got to the corner and again limited Baldwin to just a couple of yards.
8 carries, 18 yards for Robert Baldwin. We saw similar production in the first half of the Virginia game a couple of weeks ago, and then he came alive in the 2nd. 2nd down and 8. Fisher out of the shotgun again. 4-man rush. Fisher lets it fly for Corey Thomas. Flag on the play. Possible interference on Fuzzy Lee. Another flag down at the line of scrimmage at the 47. Well, you get a flag in the holding area.
Holding on the offense, pass interference on the defense will offset the fouls. Replay, second down.
I want to see the replay of the pass interference call because I don't know if it was a catchable ball for Corey Thomas. Fuzzy Lee running with him, and I guess they got their feet tangled up here. But I think that was really incidental contact. Yeah, he might have run through him a little bit as Thomas tried to adjust to the ball, but it's a washout on the 2 penalties, and we'll try it again. 2nd and 8. Fisher steps up and scrambles up. And wisely gets down. Eddie Mason flattens him at the 38-yard line. He'll be shy of the first down. Gain of about 8, however, on the play. Fisher steps up in the pocket. Wasn't really confident of finding somebody downfield. Thought he could get more positive yardage this way. When he does that slide, he's got to drop the head just a little bit quicker. 3rd down. Short 2. Score tied. 5 minutes gone here in the 2nd quarter. Fisher ducks away from one run. And the ball is knocked away by Kerry Mock, intended for John Farquhar. Greg Ellis put the heat on. Greg Ellis should have had the sack. He's not happy about that. And then Kerry Mock, he'll get credit for a pass broken up. I don't think he ever saw the ball. The ball just hit him in the body. Ellis here, not able to get Fisher. Now watch where this ball ends up. Well, you won't see it in this angle. The ball will bounce right off of Kerry Mock. Well, we'll show it to you after the 4th down play. 4th and 1. There it is. Hit him right in the shoulder pad. Duke going for it. Pass complete to Farquhar for the first down. Mike Morton makes the tackle at the 26-yard line. It's a gain of about 12. Take it to the 24.
Spence Fisher is in rhythm. He has been in rhythm since the outset of this ball game. And the sequence of play calling by Mike Heimerdinger for most of the afternoon has been outstanding. That time they ran Jensen on the slant again, but then just folded the tight end to the outside underneath the slant. Not only got the first down, but got big yardage on the play.
2 big conversion passes. One on 3rd down to Kayak for 29. That one of 14. Blitz is on. Fisher unloads. It is incomplete, intended for Thomas. He caught it out of bounds. Eddie Mason covering. Eddie Mason on the blitz.
Well, just what I thought was going to evolve in this game. Carl Torbush, well, particularly now that you're into the scoring zone and you've got more man coverage anyway, I think the Duke defense, or the Carolina defensive coaches, excuse me, have realized that our best chance is to keep putting the pressure on and hope that the Duke offense makes a mistake. Take our chances that we don't get burned deep.
2nd down and 10. Ball at the North Carolina 23. Blitz on for the outside linebacker. Pass incomplete for Opelenik. Covering on the play, Sean Boyd.
Spence Fisher screaming about interference, but that ball was well over the head of Opelenik. Tell you what, that offensive line for Duke, a very heady group. They ran a blitz that time from the outside. They were sending Brian Simmons, and John Merrill, the left tackle, picked it up, gave Fisher plenty of time.
3rd down and 10. Score tied at 17. Opelenik in motion. Flag on the play. They'll blow it dead as Fisher makes the catch at the 19-yard line.
No, it's a dead ball penalty, which would mean either encroachment by the defense with contact or an illegal motion.
False start on the offense, 5 yards. We'll play 3rd down.
So it was the latter.
Well, the only time, whenever a play gets stopped beforehand like that, and it's a procedural call, those are the only two possibilities. Either encroachment in which contact has been made, no, otherwise it's just offsides and the play will run, or the illegal procedure, some kind of illegal motion by the offense.
Could be a key penalty here.
Yes.
Because it'll back them up if they don't get the first down here. It makes Cochran's job on a possible field goal a little more difficult. Fisher. Pass complete. It's a moot point now because Jensen has it at the 7-yard line. A gain of 21. Omar Brown on the tackle.
John Jensen came to this program as a highly regarded quarterback out of Denver, Colorado. Never really got it going at that position. A couple of years ago, moved to wide receiver. And this season, particularly after the season-ending injury to Joel Nicholson, has just gotten better and better as the year has gone on.
On 8 balls last week, he already has 7, and we're in the first half. First and goal. Fisher's pass batted down by Marcus Jones.
That is the 7th ball this year that Marcus Jones has batted down. And he has got 20 quarterback hurries on the season. That means a quarterback drops back, sees 71 in his nightmares, and says, oh my, I'd hurry too.
Second down and goal. Here's Lohman. Man out in front of him. Lohman, touchdown, Duke. Are back on top.
It looked like the Carolina defense had strung out the play, but David Lohman, the senior out of Bon Air, Georgia, with a nice sharp punt upfield. John Merrill leading the way, but there are 3 Carolina men here. Merrill takes 1, Lohman cuts it back inside and hops through 3 tackles to score the go-ahead.
His 4th touchdown rushing of the season. Cochran's field goal is good, or rather point after is good. And it is 24-17. Duke in the lead. Key conversions by the Duke offense have them up by 7. 3 times in that scoring drive, Spence Fisher converted. Twice on 3rd and long, once on 4th and short. All 3 passes of 12 yards or more to keep a drive alive for David Lohman to score the go-ahead touchdown. 24-17. Here comes North Carolina on the return. Marcus Wall brings it out over the 27-yard line. The tackle made by J.D. Lewis, reserve outside linebacker for the Blue Devils, and it is 1st and 10 for North Carolina at their own 26-yard line. They moved the ball fairly well last time, had to settle for a field goal after a 10-yard mark, 10-play mark. There's the scoring drive, 12 plays, 4.5 to do it. Lohman the 7-yard TD run, but passes to Kayak, Farquhar, and Jensen of 29, 14, and 12 kept the drive alive. And off Curtis Johnson, big hole. Johnson into the secondary, brought down by Ray Farmer and Jamal Ellis, and he's out to the 41-yard line, a gain of 15 on the play.
Watch Malcolm Marshall, number 30, right side of your screen, bury John Zawanich. Good block as well by Greg DeLong on Carlos Bagley.
And Marcus Wall threw a nice block. 1st and 10 at the 41. Mike Thomas under center. He's been there all the way. Thomas calling his own number into Duke territory. And Farmer has to make the open space tackle at the 40-yard line.
Malcolm Marshall did it again. I mean to tell you, you want to talk about a guy making some big-time licks out of that fullback spot. Watch the top of the screen. Watch number 30. He took care of Carlos Bagley, who is now lying on the ground. You didn't see the end of it, but it was Marshall who took out Bagley that created the alleyway.
Alleyway that produced 19 yards for Mike Thomas. 1st and 10 at the Duke 40. Coming in quickly, Stallmeyer and Kirkland stop Mike Thomas. A great play Kirkland, a great story, stripped off about 40 pounds over the summer. Stallmeyer's gotten quicker and smaller as well.
Well, that whole defensive unit is a group that has great quickness to the football. That's been the success of the defense created by Fred Goldsmith and Craig Bohl, his coordinator. 4 down linemen, 2 linebackers, and 5 strong safeties. That's their defense.
A lot of them are juniors, so they'll be back. 2nd down and 13 at the loss of 3. Here's the pass. It is complete. Daltavis Barnes. Jamal Ellis brings him down to the 24-yard line. A gain of 19 on the play, but a flag down at the tail end.
Might have an illegal block at the end of the play by Marcus Wall. They've done the job again with that dig pattern to the youngster Barnes. Either that, maybe we got a face mask.
Well, a block in the back, above the waist, on the offensive team, 10 yards from the end of the run.
That's what it was.
There'll be a 2nd down.
When I saw Octavius Barnes clapping, I thought it had gone elsewhere. Billy Granville has not been a real big factor. They've been able to put him into space without getting much done, and Barnes is hit there. The penalty was because he went in the back and went below the waist. 2 things you cannot do anymore except in that little box on the line of scrimmage.
That's right.
Right here, watch that block
there
right there.
Yep. It brings up 2nd and 5. Mike Thomas back to throw for it all. Has Wall out there and double coverage. Brandon Pollock, Jamal Ellis, step for step from Marcus Wall.
Well, the Carolina people wanted interference, but I tell you what, Brandon Pollock knocked Jamal Ellis off this football. I think Ellis has a great shot at intercepting this ball. He's got the eye on it, but then Pollock coming over got everybody all tangled up, and the ball fell harmlessly incomplete.
Brings up 3rd down and 5 with 6.5 to play. North Carolina on 3rd down, 2 for 4. You only haven't had that many 3rd down situations at all this afternoon. Kicks return for touchdowns. It's been a great first half. Duke showing blitz. Here comes Thomas on the option. Fumbled the football, but it was picked up.
Now, he pitched it late, Steve, but he was already out of bounds, I think.
So Leon Johnson doesn't get credit for the extra yardage.
And he's going to be maybe about a foot shy, if that. You're right, it looks like a fumble, but I think Mike was trying to wait till the very end to pitch this ball. The problem was Johnson was already out of bounds.
We have a flag down on the play on the Duke sideline.
Pass on the offense.
Wow.
5 yards. Loss of down. Be a 4th down.
Wow. It was ahead of him. He was beyond the line of scrimmage. So that changes it to 4th down. And that means it's decision time for North Carolina. This would be a long field goal into a pretty stiff breeze.
I think they'll be forced to go for it now.
Yeah, they're at the 36. This is too long.
Mac Brown really upset about it. He might be saying, and I'm sure from the coaches yelling from upstairs, ball was already out of bounds. The guy was already out of bounds. How could it be an illegal pass? But you could see in the replay that it clearly was ahead of Mike Thomas. And
matter of fact, they're going to put him in punt formation. It's 4th and about 6. So no long counts here. He'll try to pooch it. And the kick goes into the end zone over the head of Ray Farmer, and it'll come out to the 20-yard line. 1st and 10 Duke. The Duke defense holds with 6:24 left to go here in the first half. It's the Blue Devils by a touchdown. Warehouses invite you to come by and register for a trip for 2 to the Outback Steakhouse Gator Bowl. Airfare, accommodations, tickets, all provided by Lowe's. Lowe's knows home improvement. North Carolina with the advantage on first down in yardage. However, they've missed their last 3 third-down conversions. Here's Robert Baldwin for the Duke Blue Devils on first down. And let's go to the sidelines and Brett McMillan.
Well, we saw Robert Baldwin receive the pass there. You know, we talked in the pregame show about how teams have shut him down as a rusher the last 3 games. But what that's done is it's forced Duke to look elsewhere for offense. And so far today, we've seen all the places they're finding it.
That last pass, Duke, Steve, went through 2 Carolina linemen's arms to get to Baldwin.
Resulted a 4-yard gain, 2nd and 6. The delay. So Robert Baldwin goes absolutely nowhere. Greg Black, Eddie Mason getting up from the pile along with Marcus Jones.
Lots of pressure up the middle. Greg Black with great penetration up the middle. Jones from the outside. Baldwin had barely gotten the handoff on the delay when Black and Jones made the stop.
So Duke looking at 3rd down and 10 from their own 20-yard line. Carolina's defense digging in here. 24-17 Duke. Dominique Fleming to the top side. Opelenic joins him in motion. Whistle and a flag down on the play.
It take too long again.
Looked like it came from that.
Dead ball. Delay of the game. Offense, 5 yards.
Second delay of game penalty against Duke thus far this afternoon. Brings up 3rd and 15.
Interesting trio of receivers that time. Opelenic, Fleming, and Wilson. 3 guys who haven't played very much are the receivers right now. That's Mark Wilson, a sophomore. There's Opelenic.
He's in motion. And, of course, Baldwin in the backfield. Fisher steps up, fires, going for Wilson that time, and it is incomplete. Marcus Jones puts some pressure on once more, forces the quick throw by Fisher, and brings the punting unit off with 5:12 left here in the first half.
Well, the decision by Mack Brown to punt on the 4th and 5 out beyond the 30 turns out to be a good one, provided that they don't mess up on the punt return. They should get pretty good field position.
10 men on the line of scrimmage. They'll peel back and return in anticipation of good field position. Leon Johnson, who scored on a punt return thus far this year, gets some help. Flag thrown into the play as he gets into Duke territory at the 39-yard line. But the flag is back at the 49. 45-yard punt. It's a 20-yard return. Hawkins on the tackle.
An illegal block. We'll take it back to the 39 of Carolina.
Block in the back above the waist on the return on the receiving team. 10 yards from the spot of the foul.
Wipes out a good return and good field position.
Ends up being a 20-yard loss. That's really where he picked up the punt, back at the 39-yard line.
Take a look at some scores from around the country on this busy Saturday afternoon. Gamecocks with a touchdown early in the second. Wow. Virginia Tech having a good one. Jason Stanisic is in under center for the North Carolina Tar Heels as they start this drive. Leon Johnson on 1st and 10, tackled by David Hawkins at the 40-yard line, gain of about a yard. So Stanisic on his first possession of the afternoon.
Final regular season game in a Carolina uniform for Jason, who has put his name in a number of spots in the Carolina record book.
Total offense surpassing Charlie Choo-Choo Justice. 34 starts, 24 and 9. 33 starts, actually. Stanisic back to pass off play action. Holsey in pursuit. Zwanich joins in and sacks him at the 30-yard line.
John, big play Zwanich for much of the year, but Bernard Holsey, the nose guard, with a good upfield bull rush, started the play, and Zwanich finishes it off with his 5th sack of the season. Here's Holsey. He did a great job on the bull rush getting through Mike Hobgood, the right guard, and then Zwanich on the chase got Stanisic.
3rd down and about 20. This is not the situation Stanisic preferred to walk into. Blitz is on. The pass is complete to Leon Johnson. Leon gets some room out to the 41. Gain of 11, but Mike Thomas will come back to punt. Zaid Abdul-Alim, speaker of 5 languages fluently, tackles Leon Johnson.
Well, and all of a sudden, after all the offensive firepower, the defensive units for both sides starting to step up here in the closing minutes of the second quarter.
Mike Thomas not punting this time around. It's Jay Boaz. So Boaz comes in to kick. I see Thomas standing over on the sideline. Doesn't appear to be getting any medical attention. Adam Geis at the 20. And Geis is flattened by Doug Leonard at the 23-yard line. 39-yard punt and a 4-yard return. Let's go to Brett McMillan to find out what's ahead of us at halftime.
Well, coming up at halftime, Steve, a lot of different things. Our usual features, our play of the week, our player of the week, one for the books, a recap of the 1994 ACC season. We'll also have scores, and I think we got a highlight or two we could run, huh?
We got a few here, Brett. Yep. Yeah, we can find some for you if pressed. The announcers for this game are selected and compensated by Jefferson Pilot Sports. This broadcast is a copyright presentation. Any use of this broadcast without the express permission of the Atlantic Coast Conference and Jefferson Pilot Sports is prohibited. Mike Thomas on the sidelines, watching as the defense takes charge. Here's Spence Fisher handing off to Robert Baldwin on 1st and 10. Up over the 25-yard line and not much more. Carolina has really shut Duke down on the ground. Greg Black at the point of attack.
Rob Baldwin's going to feel a lot of bumps and bruises and aches and pains in that 230-pound body because he has found little free space. He has carried the ball 10 times in the first half for 16 yards.
2nd down and 8. That's Kayat in motion. Blitz on for North Carolina, picked up by Duke, and Jensen with his 8th reception of the day is still afloat. Out to the 44-yard line, an 18-yard gain. Greg Ellis on the tackle.
John Jensen in his final game at Wallace Wade Stadium may threaten some single game receiving marks before the day is over. Here's catch number 8. Slipped a tackle or two. He is 210 pounds, so he is not easy to bring down in the open field. Equals his career high from last week in less than a half.
Senior out of Denver, Colorado. He's in motion across the formation on 1st down. Fisher with plenty of time throws it into a crowd, but one of those people in the crowd had a blue jersey on, and it was Bill Kayat. Complete to midfield. Kerry Mock and Mike Morton in on the tackle.
Duke has 2 timeouts remaining as the clock is under 90 seconds to play in the first half.
2nd down and 3 after the 7-yard gain. Here's Fisher. Past the 1st down and is tackled by Kerry Mock at the 43-yard line of North Carolina. That'll stop the clock to reset the chain. Duke trying to add to their 1-touchdown lead before they head into the locker room.
Come on, King.
1st and 10. Fisher complete to Robert Baldwin. This takes him down to the 37. It's a gain of 7. Clock will continue to move, however, on 1 minute and 3 left.
Baldwin came up limping a little bit there. You see him hobbling to the sidelines. David Lohman will hustle into the game.
2nd down and 4. Fisher, all kinds of time. Pass complete to Kayat at the 20. Mike Morton in pursuit. Drags him down at the 16-yard line. It's a 23-yard gain. Stops the clock with 41 seconds left in the half.
He didn't get out of bounds, I don't believe. Wait and see if they restart the clock. Great protection again. Look at the time Fisher had. He found Bill Kayat. And they are going to say he did roll out of bounds. So that's a break for Duke, that the clock was stopped. They didn't have to use a timeout potentially.
Duke moving now at the 14 of North Carolina. Fisher looks to the top. Kayat complete. Drop the football. North Carolina has it back.
Fuzzy Lee with a big-time hit. Black is the guy who came up with the football. First mistake on the afternoon for Duke. Fuzzy Lee unloads on Kayat in the football. Greg Black hustles his way to the recovery to stop the Duke scoring drive. Had they gone up by 2 touchdowns, Steve, they really would have changed the Carolina offensive philosophy for the second half. Forcing them to be a little bit more wide open than they want to be. Right now, they can just take time off the clock and get in the locker room. Back at quarterback, Mike Thomas. He hands to Malcolm Marshall, and he fights his way out to the 19. And that apparently is what North Carolina is going to do. Carlos Bagley, the junior from Marietta, Georgia, in on the tackle. The clock will be allowed to roll. The gain on the play is 7. It'll make up 2nd and 3. Carolina will get the ball. They won the toss and deferred at the start of the ball game, so they'll have a chance to gain a tie in their first possession of the second half.
7 seconds to play, last play of the first half. It's Malcolm Marshall. He's got the first down. Billy Granville pulls him down along with Carlos Bagley, but the clock runs out, and the first half is in the books. The Duke Blue Devils lead it here by a score of 24-17. David Lohman's touchdown the difference. They've got touchdowns from Bill Kayat and John Jensen, plus a Tom Cochran field goal. Carolina has countered with 2 Marcus Wall touchdowns, one a 48-yard pass from Octavius Barnes, and the second an electrifying 87-yard kickoff return. Other than that, not much going here at Wallace Wade Stadium as Duke and Carolina go at it. Welcome back to Wallace Wade Stadium in Durham. It is a beautiful day for football as Duke leads North Carolina in this traditional day for football as Duke leads North Carolina in this traditional revival of outstanding rivalry, 24-17. Coach Mack Brown has just returned to the field of battle, and our Brett McMillan had an opportunity to get a word with him.
Coach, why did you switch quarterbacks late in the first half?
Well, Mike Thomas hurt his hip, and they were trying to tape up his hip or wrap it up, so we didn't have any choice.
Is he going to play in the second half, or who are you going to go with?
Well, Jason's ankle's a little bit stiff. He had a little pull in his groin when he came in, so we're probably going to go back with Mike Thomas if he can in the second half.
Any adjustments defensively at halftime?
Well, hopefully we can get more pressure on their quarterback because we're bringing 4 and 5, and we're just not getting there. They've done a good job protecting, and then we got to keep them from having a big play. We've had them in 2 third down and 15 situations. You cannot win football games giving up the big play. The other thing we've got to do is force more turnovers like we did right before the half.
Coach, good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right.
That's Brett McMillan with Coach Mack Brown, and the quarterback situation will bear watching. We had an opportunity, had a chance to talk with Woody Durham, who is the radio voice of the Tar Heel Network, and he said that Oscar Sturgis was taken into the locker room with a hip problem as well. There's the offensive keys to winning for North Carolina. They need to rush for 200 plus. They're under that total right now with only 73 at this point in time.
The biggest one, Steve, I think, is the bottom one. They need to dominate time of possession. And in the first half, Duke had the ball more than 7 minutes more than Carolina did. Fred Goldsmith said that to Brett McMillan going off the field at halftime, that he thought he had that Carolina defense tired. And we'll have to see how it shakes out. Mike Thomas, in all likelihood, will start the second half. Jason Stanisiak will be ready if necessary. They really need to pound it a little bit, particularly with the wind at their back here in the third quarter.
You sense a little disappointment in Mack Brown's voice because Mike Thomas was moving the football very well when he got hurt on the hip.
I think he got hurt on that non-fumble near the goal line.
Here's Tom Cochran ready to kick it away. And Octavius Barnes, the redshirt freshman from North Carolina, getting set to receive at the 5-yard line. London leaped over everybody to try to get at the tackle. He did not get it. T. Edwards brought him down at the 20-yard line, and that's going to be where
got a face full of Wallace Wade in the effort to try and make the hit on Marcus Wall by Charles London.
Man, I'm telling you.
Well, it's Christmas time. It's the Chia Pet helmet.
Mike Thomas gets the start. Leon Johnson gets the ball, and he gets out to the 25-yard line where he's gained 4 yards. Bernard Holsey junior from Rome, Georgia, in on the tackle.
Carlos Bagley thought he had a tackle behind the line of scrimmage, and a nifty cut by Leon Johnson to take a loss into a 4-yard gain.
Second down. 2nd and 6. Here's the handoff. Leon Johnson hit right at the front of attack, but still rolling. He hit Kirkland. Kirkland's down. Johnson driven out of bounds at the 48-yard line.
James Kirkland whacked Leon Johnson, and he got a burner. That's when you get that pinched nerve in your neck, and you get that burner, that stinger where the arm goes numb. Right there, the left shoulder leading the way, and somehow Leon Johnson stayed on his feet and took it all the way out to near midfield. You can see Kirkland is down already after the first contact. Great display of balance by Leon Johnson.
Johnson, the sophomore out of Morganton, North Carolina. As you look at James Kirkland coming to the sideline.
Normally, those disappear and you can go back and play again. He's wearing that collar around his shoulder pads, tells you he's had a history of that problem.
Gain of 23 for Leon Johnson, who had 123 yards against Wake a week ago. Mike Thomas on the option. Thomas fumbled the football again, but cut down on it. As he got to midfield to mark him down at that point, and a gain of 3 on the play. Orlando Adwaters in for James Kirkland, make the tackle.
That is not really the real basic triple option, because most of the time that fake to the fullback is really just a sort of cursory fake. I mean, Malcolm Marshall was already trying to get to the corner to make a block.
2nd down, about 7. And off goes to Leon Johnson. Johnson into the secondary. Johnson tackled by John Swanett and Zayd Abdul-Alim, but he's down to the 28-yard line. It's a gain of 22 on the play for Leon Johnson.
Sometimes out of respect for the opposition, you make some changes away from what you do best. And Daryl Moody and Mack Brown said during the week they didn't know if they could pound away at this Duke defense. They had played so well against the run this year. But I think they made a decision at halftime, hey, we got to get back to Carolina football, which is feature the tailback.
Blocked by Don Meredith and Jerness Geathers. Curtis Johnson now spells the tired Leon Johnson for a 4-yard gain to the 25-yard line. Carlos Bagley in on the tackle for Duke.
Well, the Johnson and Johnson tandem, not with the numbers they had a year ago, but they had a veteran offensive line last season. I think this Carolina offense has done a nice job this year with all the injuries and inexperience they've had up front.
2nd down and 4. And off to the fullback, Marshall. And Marshall carries tacklers down to the 20. Going to be short of a first down. Ray Farmer comes up to help polish it off. Carlos Bagley at the bottom of that pile. He's had a bunch of tackles along with John Swanett.
Well, pounding away also creates another possibility. You give your defense a rest. They're out there for less plays. I mean, in the first half, Duke had 51 plays from scrimmage. That's an awful lot of time on the field for a defense. Some teams only run 70, 75 plays in a game, Steve. See James Kirkland back in the ball game. That's a good sign.
Down on the field, not a good sign, is Billy Granville. As they measure for first down, a head-on collision between Malcolm Marshall and Billy Granville. Let's see it again.
Watch 52 and 30. And coming along was Raj Purchison as well. And Billy's up and heading to the sidelines. He'll be back in, saying to himself, I may have a little bit of a headache tomorrow.
This is Durham County, isn't it? Raj Purchison. Billy Granville from Lawrenceville, New Jersey. North Carolina looking at 3rd down and inches. They trail 24-17. Malcolm Marshall gets the first down, or does he?
I don't know. Great penetration by James Kirkland and Mike Stallmeyer. Mike Stallmeyer at the bottom did an excellent job. Junior out of Cincinnati.
He did not get it. Your doubts were well founded. It's 4th down. It isn't even close enough to measure.
They lost a couple of inches for sure.
So North Carolina faced with a decision, one that's going to cause them to call a timeout here. They're down by a touchdown. It's early on in the third quarter. And, of course, North Carolina trying to talk over whether to risk possession of the football in return for a field goal. We'll be back.
Serious damage to your engine can happen during startups when your engine is cold. So for a motor oil to protect your engine, it must get to work fast. Exxon Superflow Synthetic Blend does. It also protects better against thermal breakdown, yet is less expensive than full synthetics. A difference you can see. Exxon Superflow Synthetic Blend. Protection beyond conventional oils for all the ways you drive.
All right, everybody, check the slide. Put one leg through. Spin around. Land on your back. Kick and pull. Blow air through your hair and try it again. And tap and pull and stop and get real mad. Take them off.
Considering what you go through to put on most jeans, who needs an exercise program? Try Lee, the brand that fits.
In business, there never seems to be enough of it. And the last thing you can afford to do is run out of it. Time. So rest assured, Delta Airlines will help you make the most of it. With over 4,900 flights a day to over 300 cities around the world. And best of all, we'll make sure you arrive relaxed and refreshed with plenty of time to spare. Delta Airlines.
Okay, these guys are the party people. I mean, look at them. They are hungry. So then these guys here, they're the host team. They send this guy over here to Hardee's for fresh fried chicken. It's the perfect play. Hardee's chicken deal is just $5.99. 8 pieces of chicken and 4 biscuits, only $5.99. Okay, watch the replay. 8 pieces of Hardee's chicken and 4 biscuits, only $5.99. So when these guys come rushing in, here's all this chicken to tackle. When you toss a party, make the big play. Have plenty of Hardee's fried chicken to pass around.
This telecast is brought to you in part by Hardee's, your tailgating headquarters and a proud partner with the ACC. 4th down and inches. North Carolina just inside the 20-yard line. Trailing 24-17. Full house backfield. That's Watson in motion. Duke with the blitz. Here comes Lee. Curtis Johnson in the clear for the first down, and he's down to the 1-yard line. A 19-yard gain by Curtis Johnson, and North Carolina threatens to score again.
Zaid Abdul-Aleem and Carlos Bagley saved the touchdown for the moment. There's just good old-fashioned power football and some power running by Curtis Johnson. 1st and goal from the 1. Same lineup with Curtis Johnson as the setback. Curtis Johnson, touchdown, North Carolina. The Tar Heels with a chance to tie on the point after, as Curtis Johnson goes in from a yard out. Byron Thomas turned his man out. Zernest Geathers turned his man in, and Malcolm Marshall turned Carlos Bagley into a speed bump for Curtis Johnson to go into the end zone. His 7th touchdown of the year, and Trip Pignetti is on for the point after out of the hold of Jay Boaz. The Tar Heels drive the second half kickoff downfield. The kick is up, and it is good. North Carolina ties it up at 24 all with 11:16 left to go here in the third quarter. Watch number 30, Malcolm Marshall, the fullback, lead through the play as he meets Carlos Bagley and wins the battle. Carlos could only get one arm on Curtis Johnson, and there was no way he was going to stop Johnson from finding the end zone. Well, you look at the superlatives in this series down through the years. We take you back to 1990, the game that started the streak of wins for North Carolina. Natrone Means had himself a big day. He plays now for San Diego, but on this particular afternoon, he would rush for 256 yards. And the Tar Heels would come out with a 24-22 win over the Duke
Blue Devils. Mac Brown got his first Gatorade shower. His team finished 6-4-1 after successive 1-10 seasons to take the victory bell to Chapel Hill.
You know what was most impressive about that touchdown drive? 80-yard drive to tie the ball game for North Carolina, and it was Tar Heel football, 80 yards on the ground.
Leon Curtis runs of 23 and 21 helps set it up. And then Curtis, a 19-yard run on 4th and inches, got himself to the 1, and the next play, he took it in. But you know, Craig Bohl was talking to you during the week, Jack, about the situation that Duke faces if Carolina plays their brand of football. He fears that Duke will be at a disadvantage this afternoon.
Well, when it's power football at its best like that drive was, it is much more difficult for that Duke defense.
Caffarelli with the kick. Dion Redmond at the 1. Redmond reverses ground and is brought down by John Bradley, Kevin Addison company, out over the 17-yard line. Let's take a look at the scoring drive. It's Curtis Johnson got his 7th touchdown of the year. It took 3 minutes and 44 seconds off the second half clock. 80 yards in 9 plays, and they ran it most of the way.
Spence Fisher, 263 yards, throwing the ball in the first half. Over 200 of those yards to 2 guys, Jensen and Kayat, who had 14 catches between them.
Out of the shotgun on first down. Fisher throws, complete, and dropped by Baldwin. It's an incompleted pass. He didn't have it long enough. Big hit delivered by Eddie Mason as soon as Robert Baldwin got his hand on it.
Right, here's Kayat as the motion man, sliding underneath. He was picked up by Kerry Mock, so Baldwin's the next option, and Eddie Mason with a good pop right as the ball was delivered. Nearly had the ball go over his head. Spence Fisher hung in there, and he got popped by Greg Black as he threw the football.
2nd and 10. Fisher to throw, ball is batted. I think Marcus Jones got his hands on it. Marcus Jones got his hand on Spence Fisher's ball over the middle. Brings up 3rd down.
Second one of the afternoon for the big defensive end. Got that right hand on it. I don't know if he was going to Baldwin short or Jensen a little farther up the field, but it sets up a 3rd and long, and the Carolina blue-clad fans are hooping it up on the far side.
24-24. We're early on in the 3rd. 3rd and 10, staring Duke in the face. Robert Baldwin on his way, and he's out over the 25 to the 26. He's going to be shy of the first down. Fuzzy Lee picks up the tackle, but the punting unit will be back on. Duke, the last 3 series now, will be 3 downs and out twice, 6 downs and a fumble inside the 5-yard line.
Now that fumble looms very large in this game. Duke could have put themselves up by 2 touchdowns at halftime. Instead, they've seen momentum swing the other way.
See South Carolina and Tennessee having at it, leading in their respective ball games. And here's the kick by Cochran. Takes a very good Duke bounce and will roll dead all the way down to the 14-yard line. It is a 60-yard kick by Tom Cochran. Or rather, by John Kruger, rather. It's 58. That ties his career high.
And that, Steve, was into the breeze, although the wind has really died down from the start of the ball game. That was a great punt. When you see that ball turn over, I mean, get that nose to go up, level, and then point down, it means you got all of it.
So Mike Thomas is back under center, 1st and 10 at the 14. Leon Johnson gets the call. Johnson, hard to bring down. Brandon Pollock and John Zwanich do the job at the 20-yard line, a gain of 5.
10 plays in the second half so far for the Carolina offense, 10 running plays.
They have gone back to their style of football, and they've succeeded in scoring once. 2nd down and 5. They've got 5 yards on first down this time. Here is William Henderson. Fumbles the football. but he gets it back. He's right back up to him, and he's going to be close enough for the first down.
On the Duke sideline, they are attending to Rob Baldwin's left ankle or foot. And actually, it looks like they're working on the left toe, almost like a turf toe problem, even though this is a natural surface. They go back to their jumbo backfield, Carolina, with Chris Watson back in there.
Leon Johnson is the tailback. Watson in motion. William Henderson the fullback. 3rd and inches. Here's Leon Johnson, hit by Ray Farmer, but I believe his forward progress is going to be enough for the first down. Farmer did a great job trying to deliver a hit to stop him, but he may not have gotten there in time, and he didn't.
Well, all he had to do was get to the 30-yard line, and he didn't get much more than. Look at number 22, shadow the play and make a great tackle. Got both numbers. You teach running backs, don't give the guy both numbers on your jersey. Ray Farmer had both that time.
Not before Leon had a first down. North Carolina stays alive at their own 25. Flare pass to Leon Johnson again. And the first pass in the second half for Carolina. Hawkins, Holsey, and Bagley bring him down at the 32-yard line, but it's a gain of 7.
But really like a run. I mean, it's a very safe pass. It's just another way of getting Leon Johnson out on the flank. Hawkins was blitzing on the play, so his area is vacated. And almost call it a screen pass. It wasn't the conventional one, but the line jumped out there and gave him good support.
2nd and 2. Handoff now goes to Leon Johnson, and he pushes ahead to the 35-yard line, where he's going to be close for the first down. Tackled on the play by David Hawkins and Bernard Holsey.
They have retaped that left big toe. They titled the injury turf toe because it so often happened on artificial surfaces. What it is it's like jamming or stretching the toe. The joint that connects the big toe to the ball of your foot is the area that gets damaged, and it's painful.
I'm shivering just hearing you talk about it. I hate that.
Well, right now, Mack Brown has his team doing just what they want to do. Control the clock, control the football, and maybe put a little sense of panic into the Duke offense when they get the ball back.
2nd down. Well, 1st and 10. Handoff now goes to Curtis Johnson, and Curtis gets up over the 35 to the 37-yard line. So the Tar Heels make first down, and they send Curtis Johnson on the first down play for 3.
Well, they have the size advantage on that offensive front, does North Carolina. That is not an overly big front 7 for the Duke Blue Devils. Bernard Holsey, the only guy above 260 on the defensive front.
North Carolina averaging about 280 across those front 5 positions. Blitz is on. The pass complete to Curtis Johnson. Curtis is on his way. Johnson loses the football, but they're going to mark it dead. The ground caused the fumble. North Carolina has it at the 32-yard line of Duke. It's a 30-yard gain. Brandon Pollock will get credit for the tackle.
Once again, the good play call, the quick screen against the blitz package. Hawkins and Zawanich, the outside linebackers, both coming on the play. And all Mike Thomas had to do was loop it over the head of Hawkins. With blockers in front of him, Curtis Johnson makes it a big play.
30 yards downfield.
See Ferguson out there in front leading the way.
Here's Curtis Johnson again. And Curtis bounces off people. Bounced off David Hawkins that time, and Zayd Abdul-Alim brings him down at the 25-yard line. It'll be a gain of close to 7, and it looks like it's going to be close to a first down, but not quite enough.
And you look at that Duke defensive unit now. They're starting to put the hands on the knees. They're starting to take the deep breaths. They've been out there for almost 20 plays already in this 3rd quarter.
2nd down and 3. And off Curtis Johnson trying to follow a block by Mike Hofgood. Bernard Holsey and Brendan Pollock on the tackle. Down to about the 23-yard line. Close to about a 2-yard gain, very close to a first down.
Upcoming the 10th play in the drive and the 19th play in the third quarter. They ran only 28 plays in the first half.
Duke, in contrast, has only 3. Malcolm Marshall on 3rd and short makes the first down. He's marked down at the 17-yard line, a gain of 6. And North Carolina now starting to open up huge holes in that Duke interior line.
This is what Carolina did in the first half in the game with NC State. They just dominated the line of scrimmage and just not only took over the physical control of the game, the emotional control of the game as well.
Duke's defense nearly giving up 200 on the ground today. Here's Thomas. Score tied at 24. Thomas headed for the end zone. Touchdown, North Carolina.
William Henderson, the other fullback, with the block on the option to get Mike Thomas around the corner. Carolina leading for the first time this afternoon on the 18-yard touchdown. Watch number 33, William Henderson. Good block on Brandon Pollock. And see you later, Mike Thomas is into the end zone.
Tar Heels up by 6. Trying to add one more to it. Trip Pignetti, the junior from Charlotte, North Carolina, in for the kick after. Jay Boaz to hold. It's up and he split the uprights. The Tar Heels are up by a full touchdown now, 31-24, with 4:50 left to go here in the third period in Durham. We'll return after these messages from your local ACC station.
Johnny Bench for S&K.
Why should you make S&K your home for holiday shopping? Pure wool values. Like these fine quality 100% wool suits, 2 for $299. That's right, 2 pure wool suits for under $300. And just $99.97 gets you this pure wool sport coat. So come to S&K and you'll look great at the office, at holiday parties, and right around home.
7 area locations in Raleigh, Durham, Morrisville, Fayetteville, Cary, and Smithfield.
You've designed the homes of some of the biggest names around. CEOs, socialites, you name it. Today, you break ground on the most important home of them all, yours. Now, here's your car, the Mercury Cougar XR7, with a blazing 205 horsepower V8 and a wraparound cockpit interior that puts you in command. And it's still one of the most affordable cars in its class. Looks like you're on your way.
Hi, a very demanding client has me out of the office for the next...
North Carolina moves out in front, 31-24 on Mike Thomas's run. For the first time this afternoon, the Tar Heels in the lead. Steve Martin along with Jack Corrigan and Brett McMillan. And Durham, North Carolina, Scott Caparelli getting set to kick for the Tar Heels. And the Duke Blue Devils getting set to take the ball for the first time, trailing. Dion Redmond will down it 7 yards deep. And Duke will bring it out to the 20-yard line. Let's go to the sidelines. Brett McMillan.
Well, Steve, you know how rivalries are. They're running so much on emotion and how it switches back and forth during the course of a game. Well, it is certainly switching away from Duke. Late in that North Carolina drive, there's a real feeling of anxiousness here on the Duke sideline as they kind of feel control of this game starting to slip away. So it'll be interesting to see if the offense can regain some of that with a nice drive for a score. Start from their own 20-yard line. David Lohman is in the backfield. They'll have to do this drive without Robert Baldwin, at least in its early stages. Baldwin with the turf toe problem, as we saw. Fisher shovel pass to Lohman, and it's almost thrown into the hands of Bonnie Holiday. It's going to be ruled incomplete.
Now they had Matt Diorio on that little shuffle pass off of the wing. And Bonnie Holiday, as Steve accurately described it, nearly caught the pass himself. Robert Baldwin, bad toe and all, in his final game at Wallace Wade, is back out there. It's his left foot.
He's the lone setback on 2nd down and 10. Now he's got Jensen back there with him. He'll move in motion. And off. Baldwin. Nothing there in the hole. but Mike Morton cleaned it up. Holiday, the true freshman from Camden, South Carolina, at 6'5", 253.
Been a tough finish for Rob Baldwin's career on the ground anyway here, as Carolina made the concerted effort to stop him. And right now, they have taken control of both lines of scrimmage.
Third down. 9 yards to go, 31-24 North Carolina, and we've got a timeout call. Timeout called by the Tar Heels to talk things over. May not have had enough men on the field. 4:07 left to go here in the third quarter. It's the Tar Heels leading the Blue Devils by 7.
Just a reminder that the annual...
And if your license plate number is 039 EYZ, call within 30 seconds to win $100,000. That's right. Call 555-2445 now, and that money is all yours. We're waiting, but you better hurry. There's only 20 seconds left. Call 555-2445 now. Hurry. Boy, 100 grand on the line and only seconds left to claim it.
Need a little more room in your jeans?
3, 2, 1. Oh.
Try Lee, the brand that fits.
Wild Dunes, South Carolina's premier oceanfront golf resort. Located just 15 miles from Charleston via the newly opened Isle of Palms connector, Wild Dunes offers 2 spectacular golf courses designed by Tom Fazio. The world-ranked links course hugs the Atlantic Ocean, while the challenging harbor course borders the Intercoastal Waterway. Wild Dunes customized golf packages start at just $69. Call today for more information and reservations. Wild Dunes, Charleston's Island Resort.
People stopping by.
More and more people are stopping by for the reliable performance of Exxon 93 Supreme Gasoline.
People stopping by.
They're stopping by for a gasoline that controls deposits on valves for a cleaner engine.
People stopping by to
Rely on 93 Supreme for a cleaner engine which reduces emissions for cleaner air.
People stopping by to rely.
And don't forget, cash and credit prices are now the same.
How do Honda Accord and Toyota Camry stack up against Chrysler Concorde? On Concorde, V6 power is standard. On Accord, it's not. On Camry, it'll cost you. Our special factory allocation event means great selection and savings for you. Now, get up to $1130 in option discounts and package values. No wonder Concorde has retained its value better than any car in its class. When it comes to luxury, why take shortcuts? Our special factory allocation event ends soon. See your local Chrysler Plymouth dealer now.
ACC football is brought to you in part by Siemens. For leading-edge technologies in electronic and electrical engineering depend on Siemens precision thinking. 4:07 to play in the third quarter. 3rd and 9 for Duke. They trail North Carolina 31-24. Spence Fisher out of the shotgun. Blitz is on. Fisher finding some room. Has the first down and more. Eric Thomas making the tackle, but it's a gain on the play of 15 yards for Spence Fisher.
It's been a resourceful day for Spence Fisher. He now has over 30 yards on the afternoon scrambling away from difficulty, and most importantly here, Steve, gets Duke a much-needed first down. From a confidence point of view for their offense, because look at those numbers between the first half and the second half, and also to help out that defense, give them a little bit of a break.
And as Director Dave Burchett pointed out, 17 of them just took place on that play. John Jensen gets back into action again with his 9th pass reception of the afternoon out to the 45-yard line. Gain of 8, Mike Morton on the tackle, and Spence Fisher looking to seize momentum here again for the Duke offense.
And think what that first down scramble did. All of a sudden, after not being able to find Jensen on the first 6 plays you run, there he is again like he was in the first half.
Out of the shotgun one more time on 2nd and 3. Pass is batted down and almost intercepted. It was batted by Mike Morton, and Eddie Mason tried to pick it up.
He was looking down the field for Kayat, his tight end. Didn't get it with quite enough air underneath it, and it nearly was a crucial turnover. See, Kayat was open, but the ball not high enough. Sets up the third down and a big play.
Big play by Morton, who already has 12 tackles this afternoon. Third down and about 3. Duke down by a touchdown. Pass complete to Kayat. It was behind him. What a difficult catch. He has the first down in North Carolina territory at the 49-yard line. Kayat made a circus catch for a touchdown. He makes another good one for a first down.
First down, Blue Devils.
Spence Fisher just looking to get the quick out to get the first down, and Ed Kayat had the ball behind him, but Bill able to make the play. First time I've called him by his father all year. I'm sure Ed Kayat wouldn't mind that, the Tampa Bay assistant coach.
Former Philadelphia Eagles head man. First and 10. Fisher back to throw. Ball is batted. I think that was Marcus Jones again. That's his third of the afternoon. Let's go to the sidelines and Brett McMillan.
Steve, Robert Baldwin's back on the sidelines. They're working on that foot and toe again. Going to put some padding up onto the arch as they retape it and try to get him back out there.
Baldwin's already been in for treatment of that once before. Second down and 10 coming now for his teammates. A concerned Fred Goldsmith looking on. North Carolina showing 6 men, 7 men in the box. Fumble on the snap, and everything breaks apart as Marcus Jones smothers Spence Fisher. It looked like it was going to be that shotgun draw to Lohman.
I almost wonder if it was supposed to be a direct snap to Lohman, because it looked like Spence Fisher wasn't ready to get the football, and Marcus Jones buries him. Watch this again. Fisher did not expect that ball. Perhaps it was ahead of the snap count. You know, it's a silent count, and I think Jerome Egg snapped it too soon.
They did that same play against Virginia, the direct snap to the tailback instead of the quarterback. Duke backing up on that play, 3rd and 16. Final minute and a half in the third. They're down by a 7. Fisher avoids the rush and could not get Bill Kayat, who claims he was swarmed over by Mike Morton.
And Fisher just now gets himself up off the deck. He took a big-time hit from John Bradley, a linebacker who came in on the blitz along with Marcus Jones.
John Kruger comes on to punt. Octavius Barnes is back to return it. Kruger the last time hit a 60-yarder against the wind. This one takes a very favorable Duke roll down to the 14-yard line. This would be a 42-yard punt.
Now, John Kruger's got that bounce roll punt down pat. I mean, if you can get that ball to roll towards the end zone, makes that punting average look a lot better.
Well, the winner of our season-long Outback Steakhouse Gator Bowl getaway promotion is Norman Epps from here in Durham, North Carolina. He's won a trip for 2, including game tickets, hotel, and airfare. Congratulations to Norman Epps. You're headed to the Gator Bowl. That'll be in Gainesville, actually, this year. Here's Leon Johnson. Heads to the outside. Jamal Ellis pushes him out of bounds at the 16-yard line. It's a gain of only 2.
The veteran Jamal Ellis, the senior out of Lancaster, Texas, held his ground in run support as the cornerback. Strung the play out, never allowed Leon Johnson to get turned upfield.
Jamal Ellis wasn't even going to come back to school for his senior year. Fred Goldsmith says, come on back. If not to play football, at least to finish at Duke. He did, and he's going to do both. Second down and 8. Mike Thomas pass, slant in, goes to Octavius Barnes, and Barnes is brought down by John Zwanich and Billy Granville at the 30-yard line.
Mike Thomas has been very effective here in the second half. Most of the time he has gone with the little screen to the Johnsons. This time they go back to the play that Corey Holiday made so famous for about 4 years. That little fold screen with the wide receiver, and Octavius Barnes, the redshirt freshman out of Wilson, picks up another Carolina first down.
About 14 yards as Thomas is 3 for 3 in the second half, and here's William Henderson carrying people. John Zwanich tries to bring them down, but not before he gets to the 35, 36-yard line. And it is a 6-yard gain as we wind down time in the third.
And if you want to play to characterize this third quarter for both teams, that was it. as you saw William Henderson carry the ball and maybe in the first quarter would have gotten a yard or two. Now with the fatigue starting to set in, it ends up being a 7-yard gain.
2nd and 3. Handoff goes to Henderson again. Henderson has the first down at the 41-yard line. Billy Granville is there. Eric Scheidt is in on the tackle along with David Hawkins. North Carolina's 3rd possession here. They have owned the clock in the 3rd quarter. They won't even worry about making a snap in the final seconds. They'll be happy to turn it around in the 4th quarter with that touchdown lead and looking to add that all-important second score. Tough to score 2 times in the 4th quarter. Well, they've scored twice in the 3rd, and they lead it here 31-24. We've completed 3 in this great rivalry for the victory bell at Wallace Wade Stadium in Durham, North Carolina. Stay with us. 4th quarter action coming up.
Here on the Outback, we play our own brand of football. Outback rules. No sidelines. No time limits. No telling which way the boomerang will bounce. Just the ultimate goal. Great steak. Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right.
Football means tailgate parties, and tailgate parties mean Food Lion. Their quality foods make every party a winner, because each week, Pepsi and Food Lion are giving away 5 tailgate party packages of 4 ACC football tickets and a $50 Food Lion gift certificate. Enter at the Pepsi display. Grand prize is the classic Jeep Cherokee Sport with 4-wheel drive and legendary Jeep toughness. Nothing beats football, food, and tailgate parties, and nobody beats Food Lion for quality and extra low prices.
Tells you that time is money. We think time is a lot more valuable. That's why at First Union it matters so much how we handle your time. You need a fast response? You got it. Okay. You need account information? Call anytime, 24 hours a day. You want time to explore refinancing your home? We won't rush you. The point is, it's your time, and that matters. And at First Union, when it comes to service, everything matters.
How do Honda Accord and Toyota Camry stack up against Chrysler Concorde? On Concorde, V6 power is standard. On Accord, it's not. On Camry, it'll cost you. Our special factory allocation event means great selection and savings for you. Now get up to $11.30 in option discounts and package values. No wonder Concorde has retained its value better than any car in its class. When it comes to luxury, why take shortcuts? Our special factory allocation event ends soon. See your local Chrysler Plymouth dealer now.
Jefferson Pilot Sports presents the best in college football, the Exxon ACC Game of the Week. This week, it's the North Carolina Tar Heels and the Duke Blue Devils at Wallace Wade Stadium in Durham, North Carolina. Steve Martin along with Jack Corrigan and Brent McMillan. Our score, 31-24. North Carolina Tar Heels have the ball. 1st and 10 at their own 41. The handoff, or the pitch rather, goes to Leon Johnson. And he can't get outside the tackle of Zaid Abdul-Alim, who brings him out of bounds at the 47. It's a gain of 6. Our Lee Apparel game summary through 3 quarters shows the yardage starting to tilt in favor of the Tar Heels, just like the scoreboard.
Well, the Tar Heels had 189 yards of offense in the 3rd quarter, as Duke was able to ground out just 33 yards in the 3rd quarter. So things have certainly shut down for Duke, and Carolina has taken control.
Only 59 yards on the ground for Duke through 3 quarters. 2nd down coming. Here's Leon Johnson coming through the hole past the 50-yard line. Into Duke territory at the 49. Carlos Bagley and Billy Granville pick him up for the tackle.
The problem for Duke right now, they have done such a remarkable job all year of forcing a turnover to turn the game for them. Against this ground attack, they've got to figure out some way to pop the football loose, come up with a fumble recovery, or get a stop here on 3rd and short to get the ball back for their offense.
Tar Heels leading by 7. 9th play of the drive coming. Started at their own 14. Thomas pitches in the last second to Leon Johnson. On his way down the sideline, and T. Edwards knocks him out of bounds at the 27. A gain on the play of 22 yards. And Thomas waited until the last possible second to let that ball go.
Watch this pitch that goes over the head of Brandon Pollock. A gutty pitch by Mike Thomas, and Leon Johnson makes it effective on the 22-yard ramble. Carolina just dominant behind Johnson, Leon, and Curtis, and Mike Thomas. Mike Thomas had a great game here in Durham 2 years ago. He's doing it again this afternoon.
First and 10. Leon Johnson again over the century mark, as you saw, up to the 22. 5 yards on the carry, and Carlos Bagley on the tackle. North Carolina has owned the football here in the second half for all but 10 plays. Their first drive was 8, their second 11, both resulting in touchdowns. This is play 12 coming.
Harold Torbush, the defensive coordinator for Mack Brown, is ecstatic with the offensive success.
That means his defense can rest. Thomas hands off to William Henderson. And Henderson gets himself inside the 20. Down to the 18, maybe to the 17. Let's see where the mark is. He needed the 17 for the first down. David Hawkins on the tackle.
Now, right now, Duke's job is to try and create a turnover, so you try and strip the football away. William Henderson coming in. David Hawkins yanking, but couldn't get it out of the grasp of Mr. Henderson, one of the Carolina co-captains. So it'll be 3rd and short.
Tar Heels trying to add to their 1-touchdown lead. Here's Leon Johnson with the first down inside the 15. He's down to the 14-yard line. Carlos Bagley with yet another tackle with Brandon Pollock. And they move the chains once more.
Byron Thomas, Jernest Geathers, Don Meredith, Mike Hobgood, Raj Ferguson, Greg DeLong, and either Henderson or Marshall at fullback. They have been a blocking wall for Curtis and Leon Johnson.
Carved up 72 yards of real estate. They're down at the 14. Hand off to Malcolm Marshall. He's inside the 10. Down to the 9-yard line. Curtis Bunch. John Zwanich get up from the tackle.
Little that Fred Goldsmith can do about this right now. I mean, you can try and do different looks on the line of scrimmage, but really right now they are into the thing that Craig Bowl feared. The strict physical matchup, which is advantage Carolina.
Second down, it's 7. Malcolm Marshall climbs up over his own blockers and vaults to the 7-yard line. Gain on the play of 3. Brings up 3rd down and close to 3 yards to go.
Well, this is the play for that Duke defense right here. They've got to deny Carolina a touchdown. They've got to hope they can make a turnover or force the field goal to keep them within 2 touchdowns.
3rd and a long 3, maybe even 4. Carolina needs the 9. Thomas trying to get him there. Actually, he needs the 4. He's down to the 5-yard line. He's going to be a yard short.
Now, if you're Mack Brown, what's your choice here? You can take the 3 points and pretty much figure that Trip Vignetti will get it, but they have a solid yard to a yard and a half. You could gamble and try and get the first down and a clinching touchdown, but Mack says, no, I want points. It'll put me 10 up and make them have to score twice. Good call.
That's right. It'll do North Carolina no good to own the ball for 15 plays and not come away with anything.
Well, if you're still just up by 7, a touchdown and a 2-point conversion can take the game away from you. Up by 10, they need 2 scores to beat you.
This will be a 22-yard kick for Trip Vignetti, and it is good. So North Carolina adds to their lead. They're 10 up on Duke here with 10:55 left to play in the 4th quarter at Wallace Wade Stadium in Durham.
Canada. It's a land like no other, with a beer like no other. Molson Ice. Ice brewed by North America's oldest brewery to be colder and bolder. Yet smooth as ice. Molson Ice, from the land where ice was born.
They They speak it in England, France, and Germany. It sounds the same in the U.S. and Mexico as it does in Hong Kong and Tokyo. It's the international language of business. And wherever it's spoken, Delta Airlines can put you right in the middle of the conversation. And then we'll bring you back to that place where you don't have to say a word to be understood. Delta Airlines.
Tired of pants that wrinkle? Try wrinkle-resistant casuals in 100% cotton from Lee.
Okay, these guys are the party people. I mean, look at them. They are hungry. So then these guys here, they're the host team. They send this guy over here to Hardee's for fresh fried chicken. It's the perfect play. Hardee's chicken deal is just $5.99. 8 pieces of chicken and 4 biscuits, only $5.99. Okay, watch the replay. 8 pieces of Hardee's chicken and 4 biscuits, only $5.99. So when these guys come rushing in, here's all this chicken to tackle. When you toss a party, make the big play. Have plenty of Hardee's fried chicken to pass around.
Trip Pignetti with his second field goal of the afternoon puts North Carolina up by 10. That's Joe DeForest, special teams coach.
And linebacking coach trying to, you heard the one time he said, don't panic, there's still lots of time. He's right, provided that the offense, or in the way this game has gone, special teams can come up with something big here to get Duke emotionally back into the game, as well as draw closer on the scoreboard.
Well, the special teams will have to try to provide Spence Fisher with some field position this time around. He hasn't had much of it in the 2 possessions that Duke has had. The 10 plays that they have run, they started from the 18 and from their own 20.
In the second half, Duke has had the ball for 4 minutes and 25 seconds. Carolina, 14 minutes and 40 seconds.
As Jack pointed out, the Tar Heels were 7 minutes behind in time of possession at halftime. They've made that up and added 3 more of their own. Scott Cafarelli getting set for the kickoff. Redmond is under this one at the 16. Redmond pushes ahead. There's a flag on the play. The 29-yard line is where he winds up. They'll mark the flag at the 30. And Kay Mays is in on the tackle.
Another illegal block will take away some field position, put it back around the 20.
Block in the back above the waist. On the return. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Right there, the block on Omar Brown by number 32, Lamar Marshall, put him back on the 19-yard line. Duke had great field position for a lot of their drives in the first half, not here in the second half.
All 3 have started in about the same position of the field. Jensen in motion for Spence Fisher on 1st and 10. This is Robert Baldwin running with some resolve. Runs into Kerry Mock and also Mike Morton, who's had himself quite an afternoon. He's, at last count, he was at 12 tackles, and I think that was 1 defensive series ago.
Tyrone Egg hobbling a little bit as he came out of the pile. One of the factors in the difficulty for Duke right now, they've not been able to involve Corey Thomas in this football game, their big play threat on the outside.
We've thrown to him once. Spence Fisher on 2nd and 7. Throws just at the nick of time, intended for Farquhar. He was covered on the play by Kerry Mock and Eddie Mason.
Well, I tell you what, and again, although Fisher was focusing in that way, Corey Thomas running a clearing route to Fisher's left was beyond the Carolina secondary. Watch Corey Thomas here running against Terry Billups. Billups steps up. There's no safety there. Right now, Corey Thomas is running free, but the play was designed to go underneath.
Been pretty lonely all afternoon. 3rd down and 7. Fisher throws complete to Jensen, but it's shy of the first down for only 3 yards to the 25-yard line. Tackle made by Eddie Mason, who's had a strong afternoon.
Well, they have lived all year with the great underneath passing package. But right now, that starts to become a detriment to you. You have to start looking upfield a little more. Here's Jensen again, just a little spin-out route. It's only a 5-yard pattern. They quickly line up.
They've got the punter out there in punt formation as a wide out, and now a timeout call by North Carolina just as the play clock got down to 11. Duke came out in an unusual situation. They sent Kruger out on the field, but then put him out as a wide out, a split end. Immediately sent Spence Fisher under center to try to trick North Carolina. They were 4th down and 4, and North Carolina wisely called timeout, their final timeout of this game. With 9.5 to play, it's Tar Heels up by 10.
When your job puts you in a world of hurt, you need powerful relief. No matter where you're hurting, you need the power of BC. BC power in the powder, the power of BC. When you need strong relief, BC powder stops pain fast. The power of BC.
Now you can get a new Dodge Ram pickup with Magnum power and a driver's airbag, and we'll drop in a Mopar bedliner at no extra charge. Or lease a Dakota Sport with air, a 4-cylinder engine, AM/FM stereo, and more for just $189 a month, and get a Mopar bedliner at no extra charge. Get a new Dodge truck with a bedliner dropped in, and you can drop in just about anything else. At America's Truck Stop, your Carolina Dodge dealer.
I don't get it. Some guy bets 228 and makes $3 million bucks.
Can you imagine what Willie Mays would be worth today?
Yeah.
No holiday sweepstakes.
Another Heineken, right?
Yeah, please.
No blimp with our name on it. No racing team.
Hey, Mays.
None of that is what made Heineken the #1 imported beer in America.
Where's all that money come from?
Ticket prices.
Yeah, I guess.
And all those beer commercials.
All your life, you've put everyone else first. When you have kids, that's just how it is. And then one day, suddenly they're all grown up. So now it's your turn. The Mercury Grand Marquis. Redesigned for $1995 with a whole new interior, plus the safety of standard dual airbags. And ranked by J.D. Power and Associates as best model in its price class and initial quality. Go ahead. You've earned it.
Hi, we're out spending our kids' inheritance, but if you leave a message, we'll get back to you. Eventually.
North Carolina by 10, 34-24, with 9.5 left to play in our Exxon ACC Game of the Week. John Kruger back in punt formation now. Looking at 4th down and about 4 yards to go at his own 25-yard line. The kick, he's had several good ones today. One of 60 yards, fair catch called for at the 30-yard line by Octavius Barnes, a 45-yard kick. I think his lowest has been 40 yards this afternoon. The timeouts remaining. North Carolina may lead on the scoreboard, but if Duke comes roaring back and North Carolina needs timeouts, they'll have none to draw from here on out.
Well, this, I really think, is the series of the game right now for Duke if they're going to mount a comeback. This has to be a 3-and-out sequence or a turnover forcing one. They can't let Carolina grind any more time off the clock.
Second half first downs, 11-2 in favor of North Carolina. It is Leon Johnson with a carry once again over the 30-yard line to the 32.
Now, Carolina might think about making some kind of play-action fake and go deep to Marcus Wall or Octavius Barnes. They've not done much of that today. Lots of time remaining, as you can see, just about 9 minutes to play.
Mike Thomas has had a strong football game. Had some big plays in the first half. He's put his back to do the work in the second. Leon Johnson gets up to the 40-yard line, and he's got another North Carolina first down. Carlos Bagley in on the tackle.
Good block by William Henderson. Watch from the linebacking perspective as Granville and Bagley move themselves over, but they're both taken down on the play, and Johnson just dipped it a little bit to the outside and picked up another first down. The 12th of the second half for Carolina to just 2 for Duke.
North Carolina, the #1 rushing offense in the country, and they've proven why here in the second half. Handoff goes to William Henderson. He's stacked up at the line of scrimmage. Eric Scheidt is there with Bernard Holsey and John Zwanich. Both teams are headed to postseason bowls. The question is where. The winner of this game or the verdict of this game will shape those trips. Duke felt that with a win this afternoon, the best that they could do would be a Gator Bowl bid as part of the coalition. North Carolina with a win this afternoon. You see under Mack Brown, they've had at least a die at the century mark. They're 27-5. Here's the pitch late to Leon Johnson, and Duke diagnoses it. Jamal Ellis in on the tackle. No gain.
Excuse me. T. Edwards, the safety in on a safety blitz, was the guy who forced the pitch early as Edwards came flying up to force the action. The junior out of Decatur, Georgia, sets up a 3rd and long. Watch number 7 on the left side of your screen. As Thomas starts on the option, he's got a man in his face, Zwanich and Edwards, and here's a huge play. Big play in the second half for the Duke defense. They've got Carolina at 3rd and 10. Trailing by 10. Duke on the defense. Thomas with the pass intended for Barnes, and a great play made by Zaid Abdul-Alim, the senior out of Chicago. Running the curl route to get the first down. Abdul-Alim read the play, stepped up and broke up the pass to force the Boaz punt. Duke has blocked a few punts this season.
One for touchdown. About in this general area of the field against Clemson about 4 weeks ago. Low snap. It is blocked. Picked up by Duke inside the 20-yard line. The block by Bailey Lucar.
Well, they have done this all year. And how appropriate in their final game of the regular season. The Special Forces force another mistake. Bailey Lucar, a junior out of Tampa, Florida. Watch the right side of your screen. Comes flying through, blocks the Boaz punt. Good effort by Carolina to keep it from being advanced. Kevin Addis saved that ball from being advanced even farther.
At the North Carolina 21, 1st and 10. Pass complete to Jensen. He's down to the 11-yard line. Gain of close to 10.
The 11th catch of the afternoon for John Jensen, 4 shy of the single-game Duke record. They used this play a lot in the first half. Good one-handed grab by Jensen. And now all of a sudden that 3rd timeout may be a factor for North Carolina.
4 wide receivers, no backs. 5 wide receivers. For Spence Fisher on 2nd and 1. Fisher aims for the end zone. Touchdown, Corey Thomas.
The first ball that Corey Thomas has caught this afternoon. He was in coverage because of that 5-receiver set. He was being defended by the middle linebacker, Mike Morton. An obvious mismatch that Spence Fisher saw and buried in the arms of Corey Thomas. And all of a sudden, this game is up for grabs again.
Tom Cochran for the point after. It is good. And Duke crawls to within a field goal away. They strike quickly. The block punt, and then the pass to Corey Thomas. Spence Fisher's 3rd touchdown hookup of the day.
People stopping by.
More and more people are stopping by for Exxon 93 Supreme Gasoline.
People stopping by.
They're stopping by for a gasoline that controls deposits on valves and keeps your engine's fuel system clean.
People stopping by.
They're stopping by for smooth acceleration and the full 93 octane of Exxon 93 Supreme.
People stopping by.
And don't forget, cash and credit prices are now the same.
To discover the real difference between the world's 2 leading soft drinks, we're implementing an anthropological study. Chimp A will be allowed nothing but Coke. Chimp B, nothing but Pepsi. The results are astounding. The chimp that drank Coke showed improvement in motor skills. The chimp that drank Pepsi, however, disappeared.
Hello? It's him.
this one a whole lot more interesting with the 4th block punt of the year. It set up a touchdown 3 plays later on a 12-yard pass from Spence Fisher to Corey Thomas, his 6th reception for score this season. The kick is down to the end zone by Marcus Wall, and North Carolina will come out 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. Let's go to the sidelines and Brett McMillan.
Steve, the guy who just caught that touchdown pass, Corey Thomas, has known North Carolina's Octavius Barnes for years. They're both from Wilson, North Carolina, went to school together as children, but went to different high schools. Well, over the years, Barnes has always won in football. Thomas has always won in basketball. Last night, Thomas's high school beat Barnes High School for the first time in years. Maybe an omen.
Thomas may have brought his team back into this ballgame. 1st and 10. Pass is out there complete to Leon Johnson. What a play by John Zwanich, fighting off the block of Raj Purchison for the tackle.
A defensive unit that was taking the standing 8 count comes up with a 3rd down stop before, blocks the punt, and all of a sudden they're like George Foreman, reborn again. Big play by John Zwanich.
A lot less than 45 years old, but you get the message. 2nd down and 12. Duke changing up. Here comes the pitch around the wall, and James Kirkland would have nothing of it. Kirkland stayed at home and waited for help, throwing Wall for a loss.
Well, after really dominating the line of scrimmage on the first 2 play calls of this possession, Carolina has gone away from the power game, tried a little razzle-dazzle, and great anticipation. James Kirkland stayed at home. It's 3rd and long.
18 to be exact. A 3-point ball game in favor of Carolina, but plenty of time left. Thomas pitches at the last moment. How he found Johnson, I don't know. And Leon Johnson gets out to the 29-yard line, but he's going to be shy of the 1st down.
Well, Mike Thomas and Jason Stanisiak have perfected that pitch over the defender. And Leon Johnson nearly got them 1st down yardage before Zwanich and Bagley dropped him.
4:40 and counting. Remember, North Carolina does not have any timeouts left. The wind is coming into Jay Boaz's face. It will be a factor on this punt, and likely will be a factor when Carolina gets the ball back. He kicks a low line drive. This is Adam Geis at the 37-yard line. Change of direction. Geis is on his way and gives Duke excellent field position at the North Carolina 49-yard line. Brian Simmons with the tackle. A 15-yard return of the punt by Jay Boaz.
Adam Geis, the true freshman, his dad Buddy, the offensive coordinator here a season ago, changed directions. It was a line drive kick. The wind and the fact that the previous punt was blocked made Boaz hit a line drive punt, and it gave Duke the chance to get great field position.
Duke 1st and 10. See Ohio State surprising Michigan in the 4th.
Would be the first win over Michigan for John Cooper.
Could save his job. Fisher. 3-step drop of the pass to Jensen. Jensen on his way to the 31-yard line of North Carolina. Stops the clock with 4:06 left. Eric Thomas on the tackle. The gain is 18.
12th catch of the afternoon for John Jensen. And again, all of a sudden, the slant pattern is open. And the Wallace Wade Wackos are going nuts down below us. The students here at Duke are going crazy.
They are getting within Tom Cochran's field goal range. They're at the 31 now. 1st and 10. Fisher to Kayak. And Kayak goes down on a knee in the grasp of James Hamilton at the 28-yard line. It'll be a gain of 4.
Well, they certainly don't want to settle for the field goal. They want that go-ahead touchdown. After struggling down in the scoring zone last week against NC State, Duke has been much more efficient this afternoon. They're looking for the end zone.
They've done this without Robert Baldwin available at the running back spot. 5 wide out. Same formation they scored the touchdown on. 4-man rush for Carolina. Pass complete to Jensen inside the 15 down to the 10-yard line. Hamilton and Mock on the tackle. Duke on the move.
John Jensen's 13th catch of the afternoon. So many have been just like this. Inside guy clears the linebackers. He drives underneath, catches the ball, turns the shoulders north and south, and starts heading upfield.
44 catches on the year. 1st and 10. Duke is at the 11-yard line. They can get a first down. They're going for 6, and they got it. Corey Thomas, second successive touchdown, and Duke retakes the lead.
Guess what? The clock might not have struck midnight for Cinderella.
Here comes the kick. It is good by Tom Cochran. And Duke now leads by 4. 38-34. 2:47 left to go as Spence Fisher hooks up for the 4th time today.
Define value.
Oh, all right. A great sale?
Here's value. First Union's new check card. Now, it looks like a credit card, but...
Works just like a check. Gas, the supermarket, the cleaners. It's so simple to use. The money just comes right out of your checking account.
You pay no interest, you get no bills.
I like that. Oh, and it's also an ATM card.
Oh, yeah, so I don't have to carry a lot of cash around anymore.
You never did.
Get all the value of the card that works like a check. The check card from First Union.
There's a place on the South Carolina coast where Nicholas, Player, Fazio, and Di play together. A place as challenging as it is beautiful, where the wind can be your best friend or your worst nightmare. The place? Kiowa Island Resort, home of the 1991 Ryder Cup matches. The price? Only $59, but only for a limited time. So
powder. No matter where you're hurting, nothing works faster than BZ powder. And by your local Carolina Dodge dealer, home of the minivan store and America's truck stop.
You asked for it, you got it. The big game. North Carolina and Duke have never put this much on the line before. And the Duke Blue Devils fashion a stirring comeback thanks to Spence Fisher and John Jensen and Corey Thomas, and they lead this game 38-34. Marcus Wall drilled as he got to the 15-yard line. Let's look at the touchdown, the 4th touchdown pass for Spence Fisher this afternoon.
Well, in a fairy tale year, the Cinderella Duke Blue Devils, they haven't been wearing glass slippers. They've been wearing work boots. They have done it in so many different ways. Their ability to come back, remarkable. Corey Thomas, 2 catches for 2 touchdowns. But keep in mind, on this field, 2 years ago, Mike Thomas, the magic man, a touchdown to Bucky Brooks with 2 minutes to go to rally Carolina to a victory.
He'll have to do this without any timeouts. Leon Johnson up the sideline, has some running room, shy of the first down. Brandon Pollock knocks him out of bounds at the 24-yard line. They needed the 25. It'll be 2nd down and 1. That stops the clock, however, with 2:31 left to go. North Carolina out of timeouts.
They won 31-28 here 2 years ago when that guy found Bucky Brooks for the winning score.
2nd down and 1. Thomas to throw under pressure, almost picked off by David Hawkins.
Mike Stallmeyer with great pressure on Mike Thomas, and Mike threw it right at David Hawkins. Had Hawkins been aware the ball was coming, he might have been able to hang on to it.
The home stand shuddered at the prospect of possibly the killer score. Right now, North Carolina can't use a field goal. They've got to score a touchdown. They're 4 back. 3rd down and 2. Handoff goes to Leon Johnson, and he gets up over the 29-yard line. He's got the first down. Zayd Abdul-Alim in on the tackle.
With the ability to stop the clock with first downs momentarily, the automatic grounding to stop the clock in the sidelines. 2:15 is the an eternity.
Clock rolling. Thomas back to throw. Over the middle, it is complete to Octavius Barnes. First down and more, and he could beat the field. He's on his way for a touchdown, North Carolina.
Duke to victory. Another Wilson, North Carolina product. Octavius Barnes said, not so fast. Barnes has thrown a touchdown this year. He's now scored the biggest touchdown in his college career. North Carolina up by 2. An unsportsmanlike penalty, excessive celebration against North Carolina. Duke, I would guess, would not take it on this extra point try, but might take it on the kickoff for better field position. We'll have to see what the decision is. They're going to assess it. It's just a curl route, much like what Tyrone Davis did against Duke early in the game for Virginia. Was able to turn the corner. Brandon Pollock couldn't make the play, and then Barnes was off to the races. They are going to take the penalty on the kickoff.
North Carolina with the kick after by Chip Pignetti. It is good, and the Tar Heels are 3 up. 41-38.
Octavius Barnes proved a touchdown for the first Carolina score of the day. He might have finished off the scoring with the biggest play of his young career. He knew it from this point on. 71-yard pass from Mike Thomas. And the Tar Heels take the lead. 41-38 with 2:01 left to play in the football game. Duke will get it back with a full complement of timeouts. And in all likelihood, excellent field position.
The penalty, of course, excessive celebration, will be marked off here on the kickoff. That means
it would almost be like a safety in that they would be kicking off from their own 20-yard line.
So Duke will get good field position. Don't go away yet.
Position. Mack Brown. It's a proper penalty, I guess, but it's also frustrating for coaches that, you know, in an emotional game like this, you know your kids are going to celebrate. And when that goes too far is a tough decision for officials to make. They felt Carolina's celebrating had gone too far, and as a result, a penalty gives Duke hope with 2 minutes and a second to play that they can get into at least tying field goal range, if not another go-ahead score.
Caffarelli getting set to kick. Deep, Tion Redmond, Adam Geis. Redmond at the 20. Redmond at the 40. And out to the 43-yard line, 1st and 10, Duke at the 43. 1:55 remaining, Duke with 3 timeouts. They moved downfield very quickly last time out in 3 plays. Spence Fisher has had a superlative afternoon, 30 of 51, 349 yards, and 4 touchdowns. The last 2 to Corey Thomas.
Again, that 5-receiver set.
Thomas slot man to the short side of the field. Pass is complete to Thomas. Thomas into North Carolina territory at the 44-yard line. 13-yard gain, moves the chain, stops the clock for the reset. Duke will not huddle.
Duke using the playground philosophy again. Next score wins.
Somehow that's the way this game, in particular between these two, should be played. Fisher to Jensen. Jensen inside the 30. He's down to the 28-yard line. Mind you, a field goal ties it. But as Jack said earlier, Duke will be probing for touchdown. That stops the clock with 1:35 left.
And they really don't want to call a timeout here because they want to keep Carolina guessing.
Back to throw again for Wilson. The pass is incomplete. Eddie Mason in coverage. That stops the clock with 1:25 left. A reception by Jensen, his 14. Tom Cochran hopes Duke can get closer to get to a touchdown instead of tying this ball game up, but he says he's ready, and they're getting within his range.
And now Duke will take a timeout after running at the rapid pace because they were having the success. They now say, well, let's recollect ourselves. Let's decide exactly what we want to do, because again, after a great game like this, you don't want to tie, you want to win.
Exactly. So Duke has 2 timeouts remaining. They have the ball at the North Carolina 28-yard line. A kick from here would be of the order of 45 yards. So obviously they want to get closer. Obviously they want to get, they can avoid kicking a field goal and go for the touchdown for the win. They want to do that, obviously. They've had great success in the red zone today. We talked about efficiency for Duke in the red zone this afternoon, and inside the 30 all but once if they come up. And that one time may come back to haunt them. That possession near the end of the first half when they were moving Carolina back, got inside the 10, fumbled the ball at the 5, and North Carolina was able to offset Duke's offense and go into the locker room only 7 points down.
And I would think both teams will look back at that play as a key one regardless of the outcome. Mike Heimerdinger, the offensive coordinator, talking to Spence Fisher on the headset. It's second down. You know, and the only concern you have, but it's what you've got to do. The only concern about going towards the end zone is you run the risk of turning the ball over. But like I said, you're here to win the game, not tie it.
Corey Thomas may be the man to watch. He's in the slot to the short side of the field. Fisher looking for him. It is incomplete. Nearly picked off by Eddie Mason.
Well, it was a little bit behind Thomas. That's exactly where they were going. And Sean Boyd, the strong safety, broke nicely on the ball. So now it's a third down setup.
Clock stopped at 1:20. 3rd and 10. Now Duke not only has to worry about the score, they're going to worry about keeping the football.
Well, they can't get a sack here either.
Fisher over the middle to Jensen, intercepted by North Carolina's Eddie Mason. No, that's Fuzzy Lee. Fuzzy Lee on the interception at the 24-yard line. The ball stayed in the air when it hit John Jensen, and North Carolina picks it up.
Eddie Mason was the guy with the hit on John Jensen. And on a roller coaster day, Jensen, who has had an outstanding game. Wow, what timing by Mason. The football and Mason hit Jensen at the same time. It went straight up in the air, and Fuzzy Lee comes down with the interception.
We have a penalty on the play.
Dead ball. Unsportsmanlike conduct on the offensive team will penalize half the distance to the goal. First down.
Now they have 2 timeouts remaining, Duke. They will use it after 1st and 2nd down so that Carolina will not be able to run the remaining timeout.
And keep in mind, Duke, one of the top teams in forcing turnovers. They need one here desperately at the 13-yard line. North Carolina 1st and 10. Mike Thomas hands off to Leon Johnson. And Johnson gets up over the 16. Duke will use one of its 2 remaining timeouts. Billy Granville and Zaid Abdul-Alim in on the tackle. That's Corey Thomas. He'd like to have an opportunity to do it again for his Duke Blue Devils. But
Duke lived all day on that crossing underneath pattern to their receivers. John Jensen had caught more than a dozen balls today, most of them on that kind of pattern, trying to get his 15th of the afternoon. Carolina finally had a guy underneath, and Eddie Mason, with the pop just as the ball got there, produced the turnover.
Fuzzy Lee gets credit for the interception. And now North Carolina has the ball looking at second down. Let's look at the interception that turned this thing around.
Watch how closely, I mean, that is great timing. That ball and Eddie Mason arrived at the exact same instant.
And Fuzzy Lee covers up a big interception back out to the 23, and then of course the excessive celebration penalty cuts it half the distance to the end zone. And it's second down and 6 coming here for North Carolina. Duke with 1 timeout remaining, 1:05 left to go in the ball game. Well, we hope you've enjoyed this one from Durham. What a way to finish our season. Both of these teams going on to bowls. Here's Mike Thomas with the pitch to Leon Johnson. Johnson gets tripped on the corner by T. Edwards, who was involved in a block with William Henderson. And Duke will exhaust its final timeout with 58 seconds remaining.
More than likely, what we may see here, Steve, I shouldn't say more than likely, but one of the possibilities we may see here, Carolina will run a play. They'll probably run wide again, but make sure that you stay in bounds, is what Mack Brown will tell the running back. Then if they have to take the delay of game penalty on 4th down, and then even perhaps take the safety, they would be up 41-40. You would give a glimmer of hope to Duke, but you would at least avoid the chance of a block punt for a touchdown or a punt return for a touchdown, force them on the free kick to try and cover more ground than possible.
That would give you a lot more room. There's still plenty of time to do just that. With 58 seconds remaining. There's Eddie Mason, who made the big hit on John Jensen. Now let's take a look at our players of the game. Octavius Barnes, he caught 1 touchdown. He threw another touchdown. He had a great day. A redshirt freshman out of Wilson, North Carolina. And John Jensen, 14 receptions. That's a record, 174 yards and a score. 3rd down and 6, 3rd and 7. North Carolina up by 3. Trying to get the first. Thomas strings it out to the corner, doesn't get it. He's at the 15-yard line. It brings up 4th down. Duke cannot stop the clock. Both teams out of timeouts. North Carolina will send the punting unit on, but let's see if the scenario acts out as Jack laid it out moments ago.
Well, they can take it down to 16 seconds and then take the delay of game penalty. Then the penalty mark-off would move it to the 10. You could have your punter run around in the end zone a little bit, then take the safety, leaving less than 10 seconds to play, do the free kick, and as long as they don't score a touchdown on it, probably walk out of here with the victory.
So they take the delay of game.
Delay of the game on the kicking team. 5 yards, 4th down.
Now let's see if they kick it away. 14 seconds left to go. Good decision. It's clock management time by the coaches right now for North Carolina. Thomas is in the end zone to kick. This will be his first punt of the second half. Jay Boaz has handled all the punts since Thomas injured a hip. The way he's standing doesn't look, Jack, like he's going to kick that football.
Well, he has to look and see where the pressure's coming. The thing you want to do is make sure you catch this punt. They're going to put 1 more second back in the clock because it'll be 15 seconds, not 14. But again, you have Mike Thomas run around, either go out the back end or take a knee eventually, but you don't do it too quickly. You want to get the time under 10 seconds to do the free kick if you are indeed going to take the safety. Kicking into the wind, I wouldn't run the risk of trying to punt it away because you're going to be close to field goal range.
But the longer you hold on to the football, and in the end zone, the more of a chance you run the risk that you might drop the football, and then you instantly give Duke the football game. So it's 14 seconds is a long time, but I don't know. If I'm Mike Thomas, I take it and I run out the back and say, all right, fellas, I'm going to kick to you with about 13 seconds left.
No, you catch the ball, put 2 hands on it, and keep your head up.
Now, let's see what happens. Duke is going to send 10.
Thomas and the punt. But you got to catch the snap.
Most important snap of this ball game for North Carolina. Thomas gets it, and he is going to do just that. Step out of the end zone for a safety with 12 seconds left. So that puts 2 more points in the Duke column, 41-40, and a free kick coming from North Carolina's 20-yard line as Duke will get the football back.
Now you have an option of punting the free kick or kicking it off the tee. With Thomas not 100% with the hip problem, he's not the likely punting guy. Kicking off into the wind, you can get the ball in the air, but you're not going to get it all that deep. And one more element, depending on how far this ball is kicked. You can call for a fair catch on a free kick and kick from that spot.
A field goal.
A long distance field goal, but you can kick it without having the defense line up against you.
Now Mike Thomas is out there as if he's going to punt the football. See him warming up on the sidelines and now back on the football field. So apparently they're going to let Mike Thomas kick. There is a breeze. It is blowing diagonally across his face. So he'll be kicking essentially into it.
With that breeze, you have the possibility with 12 seconds remaining of being able to run a play before thinking about trying to kick a winning field goal for Tom Cochran. And what irony that would be after Cochran missed a long-range field goal last week to try and pull out a Duke victory.
If a field goal is what they will lean on, Duke must get the football in the vicinity of the 35-yard line of North Carolina. The 30 would be preferable. That would be a 47-yard kick.
Well, he tried a 51-yarder at Carter Finley last week and had plenty of distance. He just pulled it left.
All right, Mike Thomas to kick it. It's amazing what kind of a fuss we make over that piece of leather. 12 seconds to go. 41-40. North Carolina leading Duke. Well, this will go down as there have been so many benchmark games in this Sparks rivalry's history.
Now this will be way up near the top.
Here's Thomas's kick. Geis at the 40. He's down at the 43-yard line. That stops the clock with 8 seconds left. Kevin Addis on the tackle.
Good punt under those circumstances by Mike Thomas as well. Got a lot of distance and got a lot of height.
We're at the 42-yard line. They're 58 yards away from a score.
Now the clock would stop on a first down, so they don't necessarily have to throw the Hail Mary ball here, although they are in that formation to the right of Spence Fisher.
They need to get 20 yards to get into range, and they need to do it in under 8 seconds. Fisher throws. It is complete. Thomas gets out of bounds at the 41 with 2 seconds left. Cochran enters the field. He'll have a wind at his back
to try a 58-yard field goal.
His longest is 47. 44, rather. But as Jack said last week against North Carolina State, he hit a 51-yarder that was long enough.
He's going to go back to the 50 to get a little extra space, so it'll be a 60-yard attempt.
Zapatos to hold. There's the kick. It is up. It's going to be wide and short. The ball game is over. North Carolina holds on for the win in one of the most dramatic finishes in this long series. 41-40, North Carolina on top. The Tar Heels now can set their sights on a possible entry into the Peach Bowl, depending on what happens in the next couple of weeks. But what this victory does for North Carolina is keeps it wide open for the rest of the conference to move up. Brett McMillan has Mack Brown on the field.
Boy, Coach, what a thriller.
Well, it's a great way to end the season. We've had a lot of injuries. We've had some frustrations, but the Duke Carolina game is a first-class game. Their guys played really hard and played good. Our guys played hard and played good, and it usually comes down to the last second here, and it's a tribute to college football. Most of these guys graduate, and they played really hard today, and it was a lot of fun.
It's a tribute to your team the way they took over in the second half and really controlled the line.
Well, we've had some trouble with our consistency some throughout the year in games like this. Some people have said, boy, they're just not tough enough to win the big game, and I couldn't be prouder of them today.
Coach, congratulations. Let's go back upstairs.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Brett. North Carolina holds on for the win. A thrilling finish here in Durham, 41-40. We'll be back after these messages from your local ACC station.
Canada. It's a land like no other, with a beer like no other. Molson Ice. Ice brewed by North America's oldest brewery to be colder and bolder. Yet smooth as ice.
What a thrilling finish to a season of ACC football from Jefferson Pilot Sports. Our X on ACC Game of the Week, won by North Carolina, 41-40. Many thanks to all the fine people who have helped bring ACC football your way this season, especially up here in the booth along with me, Jack Corrigan, and down on the field, Brett McMillan, our group in the booth here today, Kathy Campbell, our stage manager, John Madry, our statistician, Roger Knight, our spotter. Jefferson Pilot Sports production staff outfitted by Lee Apparel, the brand that fits. You've been watching Jefferson Pilot Sports exclusive coverage of ACC football. I'm Steve Martin. Good afternoon from Durham.
Ball game and hope for a couple of people above us to lose, but definitely we have to do our part and then worry about that later.
But first, the Seminoles must stop.